Yes, people, good morning to you all. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I wholeheartedly offer whatever suits your time zone. I hope you're all doing well. We're back at it again, another Blue Morning Show. I sincerely do hope you're all eating blue, sleeping blue, working the blue, and overall living the blue life, no matter the situation. I will forever support Chelsea. Thank you and welcome back. Quite a lot to talk about today, and I sincerely do hope that you're ready for it. A lot indeed. So let me get a few of what we have in the chat before we move ahead. Already some because this show was supposed to air a few days ago and we couldn't because we have some technical problems. But we're back at it. So some of the stuff we're not seeing in the chat here, but I'm able to see them uh, in the back end. That's like I'm gonna go ahead and read it. Happy weekend to you too, Jerry Z. Always nice to see you. Big up everyone. Big up to you too. And this one here, the stream got postponed twice. I cannot wait. Yeah, we had to do the. We don't want a very crappy stream if we try to go ahead with that. I pressed the like button. Then what now? A sign up for YouTube Premium to be ad proof from Coach. Just kidding. Big up to you too, brother. I hope you're doing well. Big up everyone. What else do we have? And Jesse says, big up, Coach. How are you? Your stream today is similar to the Pochettino episode. Cannot wait for it to start. Yep, the Pochettino talk hasn't stopped. We'll still have to talk about it. Quite a lot to talk about with regards to the possibility of Pochettino becoming the next Chelsea manager this year. Big up to you too. Let's see what we have. Anything else? Anything else? Yeah, anything new? This is just conversation. I hope they are discussing Harry Kane behind the scenes. I've told you that do not. Again, Harry Kane to Chelsea is never going to happen for multitude of reasons that I believe we've discussed here. And here we have for Kane, it depends on Levy if he will let him go. Even if he lets him go, I don't think Kane would want to come to Chelsea Football Club. Levy also knows that he will lose him for free. He would sell cheaper to United rather than to CFC, or rather than see him live on the free the coming in the transfer window. It all depends on Poch. I don't think Poch, but they say if you don't buy tickets, you're never going to win a lottery. Why not give it a shot if the possibility is there? But Poch goes about saying that Kane is supposed blah blah blah. Then I am starting with Poch out that very day. Let's see what happens. What do we have? Poch has been drinking too many coffee lately for my liking. That one in up my hashtag above. I understand. If this heart is at spot, if his heart is a spot really, then nothing doing at CFC. But I don't think that's the case. I think they are the owners have something that they'd like to be certain about before they give him the contract to put pen to paper. Big up to you too, Francis Wheatons. But the whole confusing thing is the fact that we've heard that they've reached a verbal agreement. So what's the hold up? I honestly do not know. Smash the like button, people. Keep smashing the like button. We already have 23 likes. Let's get it to 100 as soon as possible. Thank you so much for finding the time to join in today's show. I sincerely do appreciate that. Big up. These owners, clowns are still making big mistakes. You have to be specific. What mistake are you referencing? Did they make any other new mistake? And big up to my bro. Bobby says, big up. Coach, smash the like button, people. Please, no disparaging shade on the club today. It's a brand new total rebuild. It comes with all of its problems. Yeah, mistakes will happen. So we're not just going to be here bantering our own club while other rival fans are bantering us. Yeah, you can voice your opinion. I show that you're frustrated, but name calling, I don't think it's okay, really, if we're being honest. Yeah. But yeah, let's get on with it. What else do we have here? We have Bobby here saying Kane to Chelsea, unlikely, but anything is possible, especially in football. Yep. But for one reason, more importantly, the fact that Kane hasn't won anything, and it doesn't look like you could say it doesn't look like Chelsea is the place he's going to win that thing, whatever he wants to win at this point. So he may well be looking beyond Chelsea at other club possible moves for him, like Man United, or if Liverpool wants him. But that's, by the way, people keep dropping the likes on the stream, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. the likes to go a long way. Thank you so much. I sincerely do appreciate that. Just give me 1 second. I have to take care of something a bit. Okay, let me do that later on. Okay, let's see what else we have lined up. Quite a lot, like I said. We have quite a lot to talk about. This one here, it has gotten to a point where, look at it. If Jurgen Klopp is saying this, I'm not saying, again, we should start pitying ourselves. We should just at least be respectful to ourselves, not banter ourselves, speak, voice your frustration, but not to an extent where you start what the language is. It denigrating, or you could say putting down the club. I don't think it makes sense. Maybe the word Bobby used there. Came to Chelsea is very much unlikely. I think you're experienced enough to know that's not going to happen. Make sure the midfield is well loaded and not outrun. And Chelsea will beat Arsenal on Tuesday. And we have the match preview scheduled for tomorrow. Yesterday's show we're going. We are it's airing today, so lots of stuff to talk about. And tomorrow we go into the preview. What else do we have here? We have they don't know what they're doing. A big problem with problems with players and want to leave now. I think the fact that we're hearing that a lot of players want to leave, that's no shocking. Lots of them already have already been lined up for summer sale. So probably some of them know that. So I won't pay too much attention to what people are saying with regards. Lots of senior players want to leave. Who are the senior players? Name the senior player, and you can be rest assured those are the players that are already the club are already planning to sell. Talk about Kovacic. He's already been planning to leave for a while now. He wants a fresh challenge, and we're hearing that Manchester City, they're willing to sign him. They're looking exploring the possibility of signing him, the same as Bayern Munich. So it's nothing new, actually. If we have to be honest with that regard. Let me see what JC, my bro, has to say here. Would his family like to move up to stay in London? Kane at CFC is more than a remote possibility. Yeah, I'm going to say that again. I think it's not even. I don't think it's possible. I don't think it's something that will ever happen. Let's see what else we have here. We have JC also saying Reece James. Watch out for him asking for Real Madrid. Well, he's on a long-term contract, so if they want him, at least they're going to give us a 200 million. And we have Melo to come in. I think these are rumors that those that are pushing those narratives and rumors out there, they know quite well that what the situation we're in. They know what sort of news to put out, so that people will suck up to it. It happens. I know some YouTube channels that just push rumors just for the sake of views. So it's nothing new. So let's start. Well, let's take the topics one by one. Whenever we get at each one, we talk about it. And the first one here is saying, Jurgen Klopp, I feel a bit for Chelsea, but it's good to see you cannot just bring loads of top players and think it works out. You have to build a team. The guys there underestimated that and gave their coaches an impossible job to do. You cannot train on two training grounds. You cannot have two dressing rooms. You have to create a relationship and team spirit. Chelsea will be fine next year and be incredibly strong, but just using them as an example, as the highest level, you cannot do that. And we will not do that at Liverpool. Wow, now he's sounding like Rafa Benitez. He's saying some stuff there that are true, but I think he's exaggerating it a bit. There are a myriad of reasons why we've struggled, not just down to how many players we signed. You could argue if we had certain managers in place that we wouldn't have struggled as much as we did. I get it. When you sign too many players, it takes time for the players to gel. But look, what I'm seeing there is just a club having a go at Chelsea Football Club. This is just beyond him talking about what the issue is, really. But I'm going to go to Bobby straight away to get his thoughts with regards to Jurgen Klopp's statement. Bobby, what do you make of it?
Yeah, big up, coach. I'm on
Big
the
up to you
road,
too, brother.
so I might cut off at any time.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's become silly now. It's open shooting, isn't it? Any disparaging comments that can be thrown at the club, anything to put down the club, demoralize the club, they're all having a go. And what
Hmm.
is disturbing is that the so-called fan base are joining in the nonsense. Oh, players wanting to leave the club. Well, we know that some players do want to leave, players are going to leave. All this BS about some physio, and it's always the negative they want to throw at the club. I'm fed up with it now because it doesn't, it's not intelligent to me. I joined a Twitter chat space, which I found really interesting. It was done by a guy that I don't even follow. Not that I don't have anything, I don't have anything against him, but you can't
Hmm.
follow
Hmm.
everybody. And I saw some people that I do follow were on the space. So I decided to join the space. And wow, what a fantastic breath of fresh air. It was clearly a Chelsea space. It wasn't attack the club. The problems were discussed intelligently. Pochettino was discussed intelligently. The comments were all they weren't all positive. This sort of attack and regurgitating the nonsense from the social media journalists. It was all very objective stuff. And that's where I think, as a fan base, we should be. Some people are talking as if they know how to run a successful football club. It's not easy. These people came in with their sincere intentions. They're not out and out fanatical fans like Roman was. And in fact, come to think of it, when Roman first bought the club, he had to wait till the Chelsea bug bit him. He bought the club because he was a football fan and kind of fancied Chelsea. Eventually, as it is when you're involved with Chelsea, you become a fanatical fan. And that's what he became. These guys are more or less on the same footing. Todd Bowley, as chairman, he's been chasing after this club for 4 years before the sale issue took place. That sale was not a normal sale. It was a frenzied put together of a business case to take over this massive club. They did that. Then they were halfway through a very, very competitive transfer market. The guy stood to the breach and did the transfers himself. He was right to get rid of the old regime. There were issues there that he felt it was better to just cut your ties and move on. It wasn't easy. Of course, mistakes were made, and mistakes will be made, but they put their money where their mouth is and they went for it, rightly so. It's better to do something than do nothing. Then they put in their directorship in place. And I'm coming to it because there's a new guy that they're looking at. Paul Mitchell, who, in my feeling, I'm thinking, wow, are there too many of these guys? But, in view of their overall plan, maybe not. But I digress. They then brought in these guys and recruited 8 new players going forward because they knew the team needed revamping. There is no right and wrong in this. Whatever they did, there's going to be a period of difficulty. There's going to be a period of loss of form. We were doubly hit by the massive injury situation. And that, in a way, I felt a bit sorry for Potter. He did a lot of things wrong, don't get me wrong, but he wasn't helped by having as many as 12 first team players. Some of them are best top players that we rely on the most, out injured. There was a time Chilwell, James, Kante, all three of those key players were out injured. Kovacic, all of them. And we're here bashing the club, bashing the owners because they go down to the changing room. What a load of poppycock. Which owners don't go there? Roman was always in and out of the changing room. It happens. It's not the end of the world. It's not the reason the club is not picking up results and players aren't scoring. That's form, a little bit of confusion, a little bit of poor coaching. And all these things are what is categorically known as a teething problem. A teething problem. I sincerely believe that the important thing to do, get the right manager in, get the right sales and additional purchases, get everybody ready for pre-season, get the team with an elite 26 players thereabout, two in every position of the top best players that we can get, and go for it. And Chelsea will be back bigger, better, stronger. Get off their case, all these people. I don't look at you as fans. I just look at you as clickbait people talking out of your backsides.
Right, thank you, Bobby, for that one there. Jesse says, "Speaker Bobby, did you just come out of Matlock PR?" I think he's speaking facts. He acknowledged they've made mistakes, but the war doesn't end. I think will be better. And the good thing, whenever I remember the fact that Bali openly admitted they made mistakes, they learned. These guys didn't become millionaires by being stupid, billionaires by being stupid, so to speak. I think, they've made the mistake, and I think they've learned from it, which is, you could argue, one of the reasons why they're not actually in a rush to hire a new manager now. I get it, Frank Lampard turned out to be another mistake, which they were trying to show us they do care how the fans feel, and made a mistake of hiring Lampard just to appease the fans, and then it turns out it's a bad. It was also another big mistake. I'm going to catch up with a bit of what we have in the chat, and I'm going to bring you to Bego to speak.
A real quick interjection, please, Coach, please. So I think it was you that was saying that you were happy that they're not rushing to get a new manager. I'm not sure if it was you, or maybe it was on another platform.
I did say that too.
Yeah,
that is after voicing my frustration that we could have gone for an elite manager because we still had Real Madrid to play. But after that, Coach, I understand their reason for taking their time.
Coach, we want the club to win. We all get frustrated. Mm-hmm. You know, I get furious. I hate losing. But, you know, when we are, when we relax and we're objective, you can see that perhaps the best thing to do is what they're doing. There's no quick fix in this situation, and it's going to be rocky. It's going to take us through a period of bad results, and we're in that period. But what we can and will come out of this, for sure.
Yeah, again, like I've said before, everybody, we're all frustrated, and we'll all have different ways to vent our frustrations, and we're allowed to do that. But I understand where you're coming from. There was no competition in the transfer market. Bali just threw bags of cash every time we lost the game, hoping that something will change. The football is a bit different to baseball. Here's something I'm going to say quickly. I think when they were signing those players, I believe all of us, nearly all Chelsea fans, were cheering them. And I don't think the players we signed are problems. We're suffering for multitude of reasons: firing of Thomas Tuchel, hiring the wrong manager, and all that. We're not suffering because of the new players. If anything, the new players would have made us even better. But we're all entitled to our opinions. Like I said, big up to you, Chelsea, all the way. I hope you're doing well. Let's see what else we have here. Thank you very much. Bobby, Romana Empire, big up to you. I hope you're doing well. And let's see what else we have here. Bobby, stop attacking people who don't share your views. He respects everybody's opinion, and his own opinion is just what he just dropped. We don't have to respond to everything, Bobby. Don't worry. I know how to handle that. His own opinion is what he's just voiced. You don't have to believe him. You can keep voicing your own opinion. It doesn't matter. If Bobby says you're not a Chelsea fan because you're calling out the owners, it doesn't mean you're not a Chelsea fan. That is Bobby's opinion. It's as simple as that. You don't have to worry about that. Just voice your own opinion. Todd Parley is a problem. Chinedu is, and one day, nice to see you here. Thank you so much, people. If you're watching, if you haven't, keep dropping the likes on the stream, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. JC says, guys, please do not use emojis or caps. Yep. Do not. If you're not a moderator, do not use more than 3 emojis, and do not use all caps. It will delete your messages. Thank you so much, JC. And bro, always remind people to keep liking the stream and also subscribe if they haven't. Thank you for saying that. Whoever wants to leave is free to do so. We only want our players that are bleeding blue and are 100% down to the rebuild. It's as simple as that, Aaron Judge. That's how I see it. And I'm going to repeat these. Those players probably, if you pay attention to the names they've been mentioning, those are players that are already on the list of players that that the club wants to sell. Those are Hakim Ziyech. It was already on his way. Then John PSG because the deal, the proposed move fell through. I'm not sure about Christian Pulisic being on the list right now, but he would have sold him by now had it not been that he was injured. Also, you have, sorry?
Aubameyang as well. Who we all
Aubameyang also, yeah. Those are, if you pay attention, so sometimes you just have to take your time, dissect whatever you're hearing, analyze it, and come to a sensible conclusion. Nothing new is happening there. But let me get your thoughts, Tabeho. What do you make of Simon Phillips reporting here with regards to what's his name? With regards to what Jurgen Klopp is saying? To me, the way he ended it shows it's banter. Even if it's again, he did say the truth to some extent. The moment he said we're not going to do that at Liverpool, it's banter. It's banter practically. We were losing players here and there, and our plan was to sell certain players. So we were bringing in players to make sure we don't lack. We still had enough players to compete. And the whole thing is, the reason because we fired the manager and hired the wrong manager, things started going downhill. Plus, we had about 12 injuries. If we're cooking by now, they'll be saying Todd Boehly is a genius. But your thoughts, I think, to me, for him to have said to go to the extent of saying we're not going to do that at Liverpool, it's banter. But go ahead.
Yeah, to be honest, Coach, I think the mess started when Roman Abramovich was sanctioned, and then the owners had to buy the club with a small minimum of time. And then they got the club, and then already pre-season was planned. And then when pre-season was planned, the pre-season from the start was awful because the amount of traveling of players and stuff, and then it's not manageable for a coach.
Too much travel and not enough game to prepare the players.
Yes, and the other thing, likes of Rudiger, Christensen, Alonso, a lot of players were going. They had to replace them in order to build a team. They didn't have the recruitment staff to help them. Yes, they clear out the likes of Marina, Peter Cech, but also we can say that, but we don't know the inside, what really happened. Because in the statement, they never said they sacked them. So we can always hear rumors. But again, and also the mistake they did was fire Thomas Tuchel without replacing him with an elite coach. But again, they had a vision of their own, buy young players and then have a coach that will build them. And then Lampard was that guy because what they have done at Brighton. But
he failed. Was the guy. Yep.
Yes, but he was struggling. And then, yes, they didn't help him by getting more players and without shifting other players out. That was a mistake. But also, as Bobby said, like we had so many injuries. We had to buy players in order to freshen up the squad and then just to maintain the form and then see where we finished. Unfortunately, we fall out until Lampard was sacked. And yes, I said it, Frank Lampard was the wrong appointment. But again, there was a stopgap in order to create more time for them to hire the right coach. Unlike firing Thomas Tuchel after 2 days, Lampard was named a new coach. You can see they didn't have more time to plan or do their due diligence. So I don't want to be here blaming the owners and stuff because it's the first time they come to manage a football club. They made a mistake, but hopefully they won't do another mistake. And then, as I said it before on my Twitter today, we have some players feeding up information to the journalists. Hopefully, those guys can be shipped out because we can't have players giving journalists information about the dressing room, how the tactics, how the players feel. It's annoying. It's what happened with Jonas Lucasman at Germany. You remember they had leaked tactics before the game they lost. So it's
Mm.
annoying. Hopefully, we don't see that at Chelsea. Players leaking information given to the journalist is boring. It's not helpful to some players, also to the fans, because fans always gonna be reactional. And Todd Bowley and the new owners came here with a clear idea. They're human beings. They're always gonna make mistakes, and then you can see what they're trying to do, but they're making a lot of things so fast. Hopefully, they'll slow up the process and do things slowly. I'm not gonna be here, man, and say to bully out. There's no, it won't make sense because they won't be out. They're still new, but hopefully they get the right appointment of the manager. If Pochettino, I'm gonna back them. I'm gonna back Pochettino. I won't say I won't back him because the former sports coach. I may say that when I was angry or reactional, but again, you have to respect everyone that is at Chelsea because we're here for Chelsea. You're not here for individual people. So overall, what the club is trying to do is, as you said, is banter. They're making fun of us, but again, uh, we are now falling down. But again, we'll rise again and do well.
Yeah, I think we'll rise, and I think I still believe we'll do better than them. And if you remember, months before we started witnessing these issues, I've always said I'm only concerned with the club's immediate future, but the future, the long-term future will be very bright. And I think it's a learning process for them. The question is, how long are we going to suffer before things become normal? I think it won't be long. I think next season we don't have European assignment, European competitions to travel for. I think the fact we'll be focusing on the league, that makes a huge difference. It will take that time to build our squad, stabilize the ship, and then compete strongly on all fronts. I think that will happen. It's painful. I get it. We're all frustrated. But these owners, they're not going anywhere. Bali out, Igbali out, Cleric out. It's not going to happen. They just bought the club. I get it. And like I'm going to say this again because it makes sense. The fact that Bali admitted that they made mistake, that gives me hope. And I really want to move on from the mistakes they've made. I think it is just one simple mistake that has led us to the point where we're at right now. It's cost us so many other issues. If you take your time and look at it, whatever we're going through right now stems from the fact that Thomas Tuchel was let go. At the point where I think they would have been better off had they let him at least finish the season before taking their time to hire another manager. But we can't change that now. We just have to support our club. Yes, we have every right to voice our frustration. It's our right. It's been long. I heard the phrase trust the process and structure. What has gone wrong? I don't think that's what we're preaching right now. We're just saying we have to give them a break. You have every right to say they've made a mistake, but don't go to the extent that it becomes an abuse. You're not helping yourself because I don't think they will feel it. You end up being the one suffering because you'll be suffering mentally because you're too invested on the issue. Sometimes it bothers me too, but I think we have to be cautious as to how much of our time we invest on it. Trust the process, trust the project. Boys gave their all. That's live. We created XE, Google, chatbots, and all that. Should put these words in. I think they should. I agree with you. We don't talk about that anymore. We just try to discuss the situation, try to come to a sensible conclusion with regards to what do we do or for things to become normal. What do we think they should do? Where's Poch, Coach? What is the meaning of the word imminent that was used on Monday? That he's come to he's come to a verbal agreement with Chelsea. He's just all he has to do is just put pen to paper. I'm not sure. I know you like Enrique. There's a chance that tomorrow night you're here. Enrique is the favorite, and he's coming in immediately, or maybe Nagelsmann. But we're not sure. That was why I think it was who preached that. It was AD, Love for Blue, that said I think we shouldn't just jump to conclusions. Believing that most likely that Pochettino will become the next Chelsea manager, even though it looks likely, even though from the response, a final gut from Igbali sounds like it's likely, but it still may be. It's up to you to draw conclusions on what you think what you think will happen. Here's the thing: we don't have to. Let's just wait until we get an official announcement from the club. That's when we can all say, there you go, we have a manager and this is the person. Honestly, because we all thought it was most likely going to be a Nagelsmann. When some of us say that trust the process and structure was a lot of waffle and nonsense. When Potter, then Lampard were hired, we were slandered. There we go. Mess, and more mess. It's a mess, but I think we shall overcome. My bro and Chelsea all the way, big up to you. Jerry Z, Chelsea all the way, all of you, big up to you. And my bro, Chris Mobile, big up to you, brother. Big up to you. Always nice to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. I hope you're doing well. Please do let me know. What else do we have? Pressure at workspace is absolutely normal. Yep, that's the truth. It brings the best out of people. What makes you think everyone will be aligned with these owners? Nobody will be. That never happens. No matter, even if you're the nicest person in the world, there's no chance everybody likes you. And so I know where you're coming from. What makes you think everything will be all right with these owners? It's my right to believe everything will be all right. And I'm still saying that I've always been concerned with regards to the club's immediate future. But I knew from time, I've always known that the future will be bright. It's as simple as that. That's me. You have every right to think we're going to be worse off in the future, but I don't think so. Everything will be all right with these owners. Unless there's fine criticism, these owners will repeat their mistakes. Here's the thing. The truth is criticism is good, because especially constructive criticism. And if you want to grow in life, it's always nice to sometimes take some time, look at what your critics are saying. Even if you hate it or love it, some of the stuff they're saying are true. And there are always things that you can learn from those things as a human being to grow. So I agree with you. Yep. That's why we're here, and people have every right to voice their opinion. Sameka Chris, nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. Let's see what else we have here. I'm so pained. We all are, brother, but we shall overcome. Yeah, I understand the situation. If you truly love this club right now, it's not a good period for any person that deep down loves Chelsea Football Club. Brooke, with Poch announcement. I'm not sure when that's gonna happen, and I can't even tell you whether I'm sure if Poch will emerge as a new Chelsea permanent Chelsea manager. There's no way telling what will happen. Yes, people, keep dropping the likes on the stream, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And if you're watching and you're a student, don't forget, we do a giveaway, our Stay in School project. We do that every month, and you get to win a certain amount of cash prize, which again, to help us support your education. And the last person that won the one we did, his name is Nathaniel Oposio. I haven't heard from him. I hope he does that as soon as possible. So far, I personally have not noticed anything outstanding, brilliant from our owners other than bags of cash. You need also brains to run a club. That's your opinion, bro. Let's see what else we have. Wouldn't it be difficult to get rid of some players? It will be difficult to get rid of some players. That makes sense. Some of them, it would be difficult to get rid of them or to sell them because they are on a very high wage. And in most cases, when players move from one club to other, they hardly take a pay cut. They seek a pay rise, if anything. So yeah, in some cases, but out of desperation this time and how badly some of them have not been used, I think they may well push to leave, even if it means them taking a pay cut. In the case of Ziyech, I think he'd do anything to leave because he's not been playing. In the case of Aubameyang, he's willing to go back to Barcelona, even if it means taking a pay cut, notwithstanding the club's Barcelona's financial situation at this point. But the issue still remains how much Chelsea wanted to get from the sale of each player. That on its own will be a factor to consider. So it's actually not that simple. And I think I'm not done reading what you have there. Get rid of some players when other clubs know we are in trouble. So that's another perspective, actually. when other clubs know we are in trouble, and allow me to remix your comment a bit, when other clubs know that we are desperate to sell, when other clubs know we need to make some sales to balance the books and also sign, get our priority signings in the summer, it becomes even more difficult. So yeah, they're not going to be willing to pay too much because they know we're desperate to sell. With FFP, negotiations will be tough, I think. That is a very, very sensible contribution this morning. And I think the first delicious comment of the day. Yes, people, if you're watching, keep dropping the likes on the stream. And also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Trevoh, if you're still there, how difficult do you think it's going to be to sell some players? Just like this brother here, Aaron Judge, have mentioned, I think it's going to be difficult in some cases. With some players who we did not spend that much money to buy, if we decide to sell, for instance, the likes of Gallagher, but I think Gallagher will stay, or maybe Loftus-Cheek, I think that wouldn't be an issue. But to some players that we spent so much money to buy, I think it will be very difficult. But your thoughts, Trevoh, if you're still there.
Yeah, I think the new players that we brought under this ownership will be hard to sell them because some of
But they're
them
not
are.
gonna. Most of them are not going to go anywhere anyway. Forget the rumors. That's what I think. But go ahead.
Yeah, because some of them are on high wages, some of
Mm,
them are on long contracts. So, if, for example, Enzo Fernandez have a 8 year deal, how much you're gonna pay for him? He won't be
mm,
cheap. So I see the old players that are here, like for example, those have 2 and 1 year left on the contract. I think they are mostly gonna go, like so Kovacic, Pulisic,
mm,
uh, Kanagalaga, maybe. But to be honest, it's up to the coach, the new coach, what he needs at Chelsea. Because sometimes the
mm,
club should not make a rash decision selling some players, but maybe the new coach will like to use them. So I think all they need to do is
mm.
just before they let go of some players, ask the new coach, would you like to work with them? If not, then we're gonna sell them. And then
Yeah.
remember last time we talked about a striker issue. So, for example, if Pochettino say I want to use Lukaku, then that means we won't be able to buy a new striker. We're gonna use him and then use that money somewhere else because it won't be necessary to add another striker. What if Pochettino likes Lukaku? Sometimes I think like as fans, sometimes we demand a lot of things, but it's up to the board and the new coach. What do they want?
Mm-hmm. Yep, I agree with you. I think we've heard that already. That Poch will assess the squad and then give the club a green light as with regards to what players he doesn't want, players that are surplus to requirements. Yeah, I think that's going to be the case. They're not just going to decide they want to sell player A, B, C without consulting the incoming manager. I think they may well compound issue and they may realize now they need to sign a player of a certain profile to fill in the space of a certain profile of player that they just sold. It's not that simple. It's a complicated process. Jerry Z, do you think that Chelsea owners are worried if fans will support Poch? I don't think they are to go how far they've gone. And with here's the thing, I think some people are actually blowing, let's say this is exaggerating how much of an issue Poch will face as a Chelsea manager. The last time somebody asked such a question, I did put up a poll, and the poll ended with nearly 30, I think more than 30 plus votes or so. I think up to six, I'm not sure, up to 50 votes. 71% plus say they will support him if he comes to Chelsea. So I think with such poll, we'll just be assuming that a lot of Chelsea fans wouldn't want to see him at Chelsea. I think a lot of Chelsea fans would support him. Would they, if
But
they had other options, would they prefer the other option than Poch? I think so. But since he's the best option and since the only person we're talking with right now, I think they're willing to support him. Go ahead. You wanted to say something?
yeah, sometimes it's funny when like fans are saying they don't want Pochettino because he coached Tottenham Spurs. But again, our the special one, Jose Mourinho, coach
Mm,
Tottenham also. Should we hate him for that? No. At the end of the day, is a human being. It's a job. He wants to earn salary. He wants to do well. Unfortunately, didn't do well at Spurs. Even Antonio Conte won a FA Cup and the league for us, but he went to Spurs. Would we hate him for that? No, it's part of their life, their decision. So I don't see that. I don't see why people hate coaches because of that. Sometimes we should
Mhm.
be just respectful and then accept the decisions.
Yeah, and the truth remains, his thing, he overachieved that spot. I think we're going to keep talking about that whenever that question comes up. And lots of Chelsea fans understand that Levy Don invest too much in the Tottenham squad. And like I've said a million times, if he had a good enough squad in those finals that he took the Tottenham team to, I think he would have won it. Look at the teams even on the road to the Champions League final. Just do a research yourself and find out teams he beat on. It wasn't easy. So he's a good manager overall. He says, is this the reason they have not offered him a contract? Coach, do you think the fans will support him? I'm going to say this. I think we will support him. I don't think that's the reason they haven't offered him a contract. Maybe they're considering the length of contract. I don't know. We don't know. All we do is speculate. But whatever happens, we'll find out soon. But I'm not just going to say certainly that he's going to become the next manager, even though it looks like he's the front. Let's just use the term front runner. They may be looking at all their options that we do not know. Why is it taking them long? I'm not part of the whole process, so there's nowhere to tell for certainly what the issue is. But we move on from that. And Warble here says, I am fine. Thank you, Coachella. Happy to be here to salvage my sanity a bit with fellow lovers of my beloved Chelsea. Yep, that's the truth. We're here to have conversations, dissect the situation, analyze, and then come to a sensible conclusion. Together, we shall overcome. Thank you so much for saying that, Wendy. That's another delicious comment of the day. And if you want to become a member, we'll be launching a members-only show sooner, but that doesn't mean if you're not a member, you're not important. You're equally important. See how we get everybody's contribution in the chat, even though we still have members, and the members understand they want to share the space with everyone else. Let's see what else we have here. Bali and Co. made mistakes by hiring relegation and clueless managers, and then forced players to take a pay cut. That hasn't happened. I think there has to be a conversation by that. I think they're just saying as if it has happened. No, people are speculating that that's what's going to happen. That's how you run a football club. Embarrassing if that has happened indeed. And like I said, I pinned the link to the membership. If you want to become a member, it's just $2.99. It's pinned at the very top. Pochettino will not prefer Lukaku because he wants strikers to track back. I think he prefers strikers who are able to drop deep and participate in the play. Strikers who can also create chances for their teammates. But there's a chance he may well, because we're stuck, there's a chance he may well tell the owners, we can do with him until we find the perfect striker. But we have the likes of Datro Fofana. I saw highlights of Datro Fofana highlighting the game time, his performance. When he's been on the pitch for us, he actually was good. And why he's not gotten the chance in the first team again, I don't know really. But let's see if Pochettino makes a difference in that case. Lukaku is as slow as a snail. Wow. I prefer Conte ahead of this manager. I would not take Conte and Chelsea again. I like progressive managers, managers who are progressive with regards to their approach to football. Conte isn't one of them. It's always a three at the back approach. If you're better than them, he's willing to sit back, hit you on a break, and get goals. I don't want that sort of manager. If we're going to go for any manager that's that is as pragmatic as Conte and not as progressive as I believe the Chelsea fans would want, then I'd say let's go for Mourinho. Might as well. He's a better tactician of the two, and probably will win us a lot. So I wouldn't not go for Antonio Conte. We need to stop painting Poch as an overachiever. He underachieved with a good squad at Spurs and was a bottler of titles. Okay, I get it. I get where you're coming from, but I'll still say this without disrespect, bro. You know I love you, but that's your opinion, and I'm entitled to my opinion, and you know that. We're not fighting over that. I hope you understand that. But I get where you're coming from. Here's the thing: if we had options such as Luis Enrique, yeah, I would take Luis Enrique over Pochettino. But what are options do we have? The options we were given, we've heard, is Pochettino and what's his name, Vincent Company. If that makes sense. If Conte have his Chelsea players, trust me, he's going to have these Chelsea players. I think he's going to win a Champions League and EPL as well. No, I don't trust Conte in Europe, actually, if that makes sense. Arsenal 4, Chelsea 0. We're not here to talk about that. Slow down. Just hold your don't push us to that place, Kim. So, Ghana Charleston, I hope you're doing well. And to everyone that's in the chat, I hope you're all doing well. If I haven't said hello to you, apologies. Hello to you all. I hope you're all doing well. We have Conte could have been a good option, but he has never managed a squad as young as these. Yep, he likes to have experienced heads in his squad, and he will not be patient. So he will not work with Conte, and probably will snap at the owners in a few months. But if things start going the wrong way, he starts, finding who to blame. And once he starts speaking, yeah, he doesn't shut up. And so he probably, yeah, I don't think Conte would have worked. Coach Poch can transform Broya and Fofana. Depends on the style. Yeah, I think the reason why actually they focus on Poch is his track record with young players. Yeah, I think he'd do well at Chelsea. He wasn't my first choice, but it's one manager. When you talk of him, I'm able to defend him with regards to his coaching ability. And I'm going to keep saying it. He actually overachieved at Tottenham. But I get my bro JC's argument there. Let's see what else we have. Does anyone know why Enrique was turned down? We don't know. We only heard that they weren't considering him, that he was out of the race, that Nagelsmann was the front runner at that point, and now things has also changed. So I'm not going to hold my breath and say certainly it's going to be Poch. We're just talking about Poch because he's the club's, what we're hearing, he's the most talked about manager at this point. Fortson Luendo Hanyama, nice to see you, brother. I hope you're doing well. I would choose Poch over Luis Enrique all day long. Can you elaborate? I want to hear the reason why you would do that. We move on to this person here. We're lowering our standards to Tottenham and Southampton with Poch. Wow, Mo. Okay, if that's your argument, okay, that's how you see it. It's your opinion, and you are entitled to your opinion, and I respect that. So yeah, thank you for that. We all believe Salem MC Chelsea good results against Arsenal. There's a reason why I'm reason why I'm not too sure what the outcome is going to be. Usually, if the case is that Arsenal, they've won 99 games, and the next one, the 100 game would be against Chelsea, then you'd say they'd lose it. They lose that game. And in our case, from vice versa, if we've won 99 games and the 100 game will be against Arsenal, we usually do lose those games. We had, especially in recent years. So, but in this situation, Arsenal, they've had 4 games and they've only picked they lost 1, drew 3, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, or drew 2, lost the last one. So I'm not too sure what to expect, given that the pattern that I've seen in the past few years isn't there anymore. Maybe if the difference, maybe the fact that they are topping the table, maybe that will make a difference. Maybe that will be a factor that aligns with the pattern that I talked about, but I'm not too certain what's going to happen tomorrow. Let's see what we have here. Let's wait and see because we're already doomed. It's concerning, really. Yes, people keep dropping the likes on the stream. We have 49 likes. Let's get it to 50 and shoot for 100 as soon as possible. We can do that. Conte will very quickly end up in a punching duel with Bali if owners enter changing room. Yeah, Conte is. I don't think he fits the profile of manager that they're looking for, it's not going to work. Kante is very, very temperamental. He flares up with the little issue. The club, once the moment the squad starts having issues, I think he hardly controls his temper and doesn't shut up, really. Has to go at the owners and some players openly. According to Julian Lawler, Enrique was turned down because he demanded Bolly to change half of the squad and invest a further 250 million or so. That sounds about right, because I've heard Eugene always here saying for Enrique's style of play to work, that he will practically change the whole squad. So that may well be the case. It's believable, but I'm not saying I'm going to say that's the case. But we're moving from that. Big up, Phil Sips. Big up to you too, brother. He says, a big up, coach. After that fiasco with Lukaku last season, no fan would want him back. I think if we have Goncalo Ramos, or is it pronounced Goncalo or Gonzalo? You're talking about the Benfica player, or Tone as striker, we are good. We will have a Dacho and Broya as backup, and nurture them to become ready, to be performing for us in the Premier League. So that makes sense. Chris Wobble, being here alone and listening and reading comments is helping my sanity right now. Oh my beloved Chelsea must rise again. We must we must rise again. We don't just you don't just give up because of what we're going through. We're Chelsea, I think, will bounce back. One thing, my biggest wish of the season would be Arsenal to bottle the title. Then to me, it's no different from Chelsea. It will be nothing different. It will not differ from Chelsea winning the trophy this season if Arsenal end up not winning it. Poch has EPL experience, brother, than Luis Enrique. That's a solid argument. Hesitant, unfortunately, for Pochettino, because he's managed Tottenham. Lots of the fans, they're not able to actually look beyond, the fact that he's managed Tottenham and look at the fact that he's a good manager. He has a good track record with young players, which fits the profile of manager the owners are looking for. And I think it was Roger that said the day we were analyzing, we realized that we told our followers here in the community that Poch is actually, what the report we're looking at sounds like Poch is actually the front runner and not Nagelsmann at that point, because the statement was clear. I think, the truth is EPL experience, I think that will go a long way for him. Plus his track record with young players. The owners of Chelsea have brought our reputation into murdy, because every decision made by them is gibberish. Wow. What a way to phrase it. Yes, people, keep dropping the likes on the stream. We have 52 likes. Let's get it to 60, 70, and 100 as soon as possible. Thank you so much for being part of this morning's show. I sincerely do appreciate that. It is just me on the panel, but you know I enjoy interacting with you. And just do me a favor, instead of having too many bits and pieces of comments, please bulk them up together and type them so that I don't have too many to read independent, piece by piece. Coach, I am so angry at Lampard. He's not starting the new players, and he is also not playing a back four. And that Poch prefers. What is the point of Frankie as a caretaker manager? He doesn't care. He cares. Yes, Tim. No matter how you see it. Do you think Frank Lampard would want a situation where the season ends and he without him winning a single game? His coach, his resume as a manager would take a serious hit. It will make it even difficult for him to get the job anywhere. He's lost 5 games in a row. And if you go as back as his Everton days before he got fired from Everton and put everything together, he has about 13% win rate. That's not good. So he would want to win, which was the reason I argued that the fact that the ideal thing to do at this point would have been to start giving the young players a chance. The Noni Maduekes, the Carney Chukwuemekes, Dacho Fofana, and all these young players, let it be the preseason for them. Let the preseason start early for them and be prepared for next season. But no, I think he'd prioritize his resume, his coaching resume. He wouldn't want to risk that, because the more games we lose, the worse it gets for him. And the more games you lose, the easier it is to lose the next game. Plus, as Roger explained, the higher you finish on the table, the more money you get. And we need all the money we can get at this point to balance the books, if that makes sense. So I don't think the priority, it makes sense for the priority not to be to start the young players. So I have come to that conclusion, and I agree. I've come to terms with that. I'm not worried about that. But I think some of them, for instance, Noni Madueke is actually good to start games. Dr. Fofana is actually good to start game and do better than those that we've given a chance in the number 9 position. And on the wings, I think Noni Madueke is more direct, doesn't shy away from taking on opposition players. Maybe he should get the nod ahead of some players who have started ahead of him, and maybe he's capable of helping us do well. That's, by the way, let me see what my bro JC says here. Coach, you have gone on record to say many times many positive about Poch's good record with youth. Can you please name a few of those youth talents that he nurtured? One of them, you could say, Harry Kane was very young when he started on the Poch. Dele Ali, I think he was the one that gave Danny Rose an opportunity. Even he was the one that nurtured, what's his name, now right back from Manchester City. A few of them. Correct me if I'm wrong. I could be wrong, but you correct me. Yeah, I think it's good. He has a good track record with young players, especially at Southampton too. And I don't have to go into that, but it's your opinion if you feel like he's a butler, he's not the man. Poch at Southampton was incredible with young players at the likes of Mane, Wayama, and others. Even didn't Van Dijk play under him? Correct? Please, let's talk about that. Didn't he play under him? Yeah. So 13% win rate, and Barley thought it was the right decision to hire Lampard. Unbelievable. Well, we have to move on from that. I think they've hired him. It has happened, but I'm not sure what to make of it. We have the right foundation to be fighting next season. All that we need is a manager with the right philosophy and positive leadership to pull it together as we have the players to do so. I agree with you. Big up Kachila, the Prince is here. Big up Prince and Roman Empire. Big up to you too. Big up Kachila. Big up Bobby. Big up Trusted Family. Please just like the channel. Yes, please keep dropping the likes on the channel, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. We have 57 likes. Let's get it to 60 as soon as possible. We're delaying so much that Real Madrid might approach Poch before a pen is put to paper. Then we go for Enrique, and Enrique has always been my first choice. I don't think they want Nagelsmann. Clearly, from what we've heard, they didn't even give him a chance. Actually, Danny Rose, Dele Ali. Sorry, let's stop calling him names, especially the youth nourisher. Okay, thank you, bro. I agree with you. Let's see what else we have lined up here that we want to talk about. We've talked about this. The reason we say we should at least, I'm not saying we should be self-pitying ourselves. I'm just saying we shouldn't help those that are bantering us. Clearly here, like I've talked about this, even as he started, well, he did say something nice to a certain measure, but the moment he mentions we are never going to do that at Liverpool, it's as simple as that. It's a banter now. He's bantering us right now. So we move on from that. Let's see what else we have there. This one here says Charity have handed out long-term contracts and sources close to senior players who will remain anonymous to protect relationships. Suggest some are already starting to express a regret at having committed to such a lengthy term. To me, I would say BS on this one, and I want to move on with it. I don't want to dwell on it that much. I get it; it's believable. Now they're feeding off of you can say the media, the Twitter journalists. They are really feeding off of you could call it vulnerability, because we're vulnerable now. Emotions are running high. We're pained. So they're making the most of it by putting out anything that sounds believable to a considerable measure. You just see it out there just to heighten the situation. It is Chelsea Football Club. They don't sell papers. The news don't sell. You don't get enough clicks if you don't discuss such with Chelsea. Danny Rose, Dele Ali, Okay, yeah, I've read that one from my bro, JC. Kuchila, with all the mistakes Bali and Co have made, how confident are you they're going to make better decisions in the future? Here's the thing. Let's be a bit objective here. I think one mistake has trickled down to what is happening now. The firing of Thomas Tuchel, that's where everything started. If we're being honest, I get it. Frank Lampard was a mistake too. That was them trying not to repeat their first mistake by hiring a new manager in a rush, just the way they did when they hired Graham Potter. But I believe their reasoning, as we learned, was there was so much division in the concerns within the fan base that we needed something, to cheer us up. And they thought Frank Lampard would be the guy. His Chelsea legendary status will help, positive vibes and all that. They thought he was going to be the guy. And maybe they thought the fact that Everton fired him a few months ago, that hiring him, he'd be eager to do well and probably capable of doing well. Maybe they checked his record at Chelsea. The fourth season, he did well, actually, with what he had. It turns out they were wrong. They're learning that right now. So I think maybe also they looked at it and said the season is over. Whatever happens with Frank Lampard, let's just start from there and take our time to bring in a manager. I would have loved someone else to take over from him. So you could count that as another mistake. But after all, I get it. Even me, I myself included, I wasn't happy. The fact that we still had the opportunity to beat Real Madrid and progress to the semi-final stage of the Champions League, maybe they thought Frank was capable of doing that. And I was thinking maybe get an established manager to help us overcome Real Madrid, and we have a chance to win the Champions League. Maybe they didn't consider it. I don't know. But I think we will be all right. I think they will learn. They didn't become billionaires by being dumb. And if I'm going to repeat this because it's the fact. Bali admitted openly that they made mistakes, and I don't think I will suffer too long. Maybe the most, I strongly believe that the most will suffer will be next season. But where are we going to finish next season? I don't know. But the future is bright. That's all I can say for now. But I get it. We're all concerned. Link to the players that Poch developed. Let's see what else you have. I think you're not a moderator. That's why probably we're not going to see that link. What's happening to our beloved Chelsea? Edwin Muchandiona, I think we'll be all right. We're going through a rough patch right now. That's the way to put it. The owners, I think, we're going. Let me just say we're going through a very rough patch, but we'll be all right. So just calm down. We'll get a new manager in by the time the season ends, and he starts the season with a clean slate, preseason and all that. And hopefully, I haven't actually looked at the preseason schedule. I hope it's not that sort of preseason where we do a lot of traveling with little football to play. That's not going to help us. This time we need to play a lot of football during the preseason because that will help us be well prepared. This one here says Bali was simply too swift to get rid of all Abramovich structure, and that has contributed to this collapse. But we will bounce back, like you said. That was the first thing you said. We will bounce back. The future is bright. Let's see what else we have. Coach, where are you from, if I may ask? I live in the States, and I grew up in Nigeria. Yeah, if that helps. Coach, sorry again. We had different breakfasts today. Only one mistake is inaccurate. And you could say that's what, not just, my presentation was just how everything started, how it all started. I get it, the second mistake of hiring Frank Lampard. There may be others you see as mistakes, but that's you. But that's how I present it. They have fired everybody. To be honest, I am still looking to find one correcting they did. Okay, let's start by, I'm not going to, that's you. Find one. If you don't find one, if you feel like you can find one, that's you. Kachila, I like your optimism about us being all right. Hope not in the championship. I hope so. Some are saying mathematically it's not possible. Some are saying it's still mathematically possible that we get relegated. But I don't know what to believe, but I still think we'll be all right. Where the point's going to come from, I don't know. It's easy to say it's Arsenal. Maybe that's where That's where we get the point from, because it starts and it's a London derby. Jerry Z, coach, my best friend is from Nigeria. I hope he's treating you kind. Nigerians are always welcoming people. Thank you for saying that, Jerry Z. I sincerely do appreciate that. Bobby, I don't know if you have anything briefly to speak about this one, so we move on to the next topic. Why are we having such somebody that works for the organization telling them that some players on long contract that they're regretting it? To me, I call a BS on this one. It's believable because we know already that some of these players are on a very long contract, and it's easy to say that they're regretting it right now. Who told them that? Yeah.
Look at the source. That tells you everything.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, you say look at what?
Look at the source.
Yeah, it's Johnson Sport, Liam Twomney, and The Athletic. Yeah. So to me, it's absolute nonsense. So it's a good thing we're talking about it. And if you're watching, if you're a Chelsea fan, do not believe everything you hear. Take your time to analyze it and come to a sensible conclusion. To me, this is absolute nonsense also. It's believable, because we know the players are on a long-term contract. And even before this came out, we've heard from pundits and some managers at all, and some non-pundits, some Twitter journalists saying it may well be an issue. Thomas Pace says we need a proper size club so we can get everyone on the same page and with a coherent message. It's as simple as that. To me, I will support Chelsea until the fat lady sings. For me, it's Enzo Fernandez who's regretting, in my opinion. I don't think so. If he's regretting it, they just triggered a clause on his contract that made it 8 years. He would have said no if he's regretting anything. So that's why I think it just doesn't make sense.
He accepted a clause on his contract that made it 9 years, coach.
Exactly. And he allowed them to trigger it. And I don't think the club would have triggered it without him agreeing. So let that sink in. You start to come to a sensible conclusion. To me, it just doesn't make any sort of sense. I think people are just feeding on our vulnerability right now. The fact that we believe on everything they release out there. But I also think it's fear-mongering. Thank you, Kimso. That is another delicious comment of the day. It is fear-mongering. They are feeding on our vulnerability. They know we're concerned, so they know anything they put out there would click on it to read it and see, okay, what's going on now. So thank you, people, for 60 likes, 40 more to get it to 100. You people are absolute legends, and I believe we can do that. So keep dropping the likes on the stream, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And please do me one tiny bitty favor. If you're watching, please, you can also share the link on whatever social media platforms where you have presence, whether Twitter, whether Facebook, so that more people can join us. And if you're watching for some reason or the other, you're not participating in the chat, I'm going to say thank you to you. You provide great value to the stream. But if you can do us one more favor, please do take a second, drop a like on the stream. The likes do go along, but we'd really appreciate that. T1 says next season, I feel good about with Poch. I think we'll finish top 4, which 2 or 3 young side will have a breakthrough under Pochettino next season. Let me believe you, bro. Something positive to look forward to. But thank you so much for that. Pochettino will be ruthless with Enzo, and will sort him. Don't worry, Kimso. Kimso is always objective, but when Chelsea ain't doing well, sometimes he can be a bit negative, which is only natural. He's a human being after all. This one here says, this is huge news. On the positive side, Allianz, the German insurer, is one of a number of companies vying to take over from the telecom group 3 as Chelsea's main shirt sponsor, even after a dire Premier League season that risks hurting the club's pricing power with potential backers. Here's the thing: this just shows you Allianz. They realize that Chelsea is a big club. They realize maybe that will see that from the perspective of the fact that this shows you that Chelsea will remain a big club no matter what happens. And they know that. And it's a business opportunity for them. They know we will be competing. They know we're going through what I call a rough patch. They know we will overcome, which, again, whatever we're going through right now can only make us stronger. Is it the best situation to find ourselves in? No, it is concerning. It is shameful They were actually 12th on the table, but believe me, we shall overcome. And this is some positive news. If anything, if you're objective enough and truthful to yourself, this is a sign. This just shows you that yes, Chelsea remains a big club. It will only become lose our status as a big club, as one of the biggest clubs in world football. If this continues if it continues next year and the following year, that's when it becomes a concern. But yeah, that status as one of the biggest clubs in the world is still there. Bobby, you want to come in and talk about this one if you're still there? I'll keep reading what I have in the chat, and whenever you're ready to come in, please do come in and speak about the fact that Allianz, they're vying, with all the sponsors, not just them. But go ahead, Bobby.
What about the sponsorship deal?
Yeah, what it shows you that they recognize Chelsea is still a big club, no matter what we're going through.
Of course. The sponsorship deal is a matter of the highest bidder, isn't it, really? Mm-hmm. And if Allianz is that, then, that's the one to go with. People aren't short-sighted. You can't have a knee-jerk reaction because of a sudden situation. Newcastle, who have faced relegation several times in recent times, still got good sponsors, even when they had Mike Ashley before the Saudis came.
Before he sold, yeah.
Liverpool still got sponsors, and they had very bad situation at one time, well outside the top four. They're outside the top four now. There's no guarantee that they're going to make it to the Champions League, and they're likely to perhaps get at least Europa Cup football, but they will get sponsors. No, you're sponsoring the name and the history. And you look at the project and probability, and the probability that Chelsea will, revitalize itself somewhat is very high. The investment is good into the playing staff and into the club itself, and it's worth a sponsorship. I mean, if I was a sponsor, I would sponsor them. It's probably better to pick them up at a time like this than at another time. There you can build and push them to success, and this is what these things are about. So I don't look at it that way at all. I think I'm glad they're getting rid of 3. I think what 3 did at our greatest
they betrayed us.
They really did. They would say it's business, but I just feel that there comes a time where your business has to stand sway. What they did was attack the club for a situation that had nothing to do with the club. Even if you wanted to attack the owner and the club are quite different in that there are people that work for the club. The club is the community. That's one thing, lots of people don't understand about football. It's the community. It services the community. And it's also a nation. All these clubs are representative of the nation. So the way 3 behaved as if sanctioning the club as well upon the sanctions already on the club was a feasible thing to do. I just felt, it's kicking a man when he's down, which is what some of these fans are doing, spreading these rumors, which I think are becoming quite malicious. It's not the way. So I'm glad 3's going. That doesn't mean to say that other sponsors, if ever such a thing happened again, God forbid, would not do the same thing. People are into buying clout, buying current favor, whether they believe in it or not. So if it's Allianz, if it's anybody else, the highest bidder should be a welcome sponsor, in my opinion.
It will most definitely be the highest bidder. It's not just Allianz, there are other people vying for that. And it does look beautiful. Bobby, if you can keep talking, I'm trying to find something where I saw the jersey. Somebody shared it. I think it would be a good visual presentation for those that are watching it. And Kim said to say it, Chelsea and Allianz. I don't know where I'm going to find
that. Replicas or rather designs that people have put out there, and it looks okay. It looks different because we're used to seeing three, but it looks okay. I don't know why they've suddenly, you know, the Chelsea social media journalists, they really know how to put their bias on things. You know,
Mm-hmm.
they've suddenly made up their mind that it's Allianz. I mean, I'm not, I have no opinion either way, but I just find that funny that they've said it's Allianz, and yeah, that's the one. And the
Mm-hmm.
club are still, as far as I know, in negotiation with Allianz. I think there's an American company as well, and as you've said, it has to be the highest bidder, the bidder that will give the club more finances, especially in this difficult period to overcome the lack of European football. Um, and I think the ownership understand that come the summer, the build up to the next season is crucial. The stability of the club is crucial, and the success of the club is crucial. They know this. They're in it for success. They're not in it to play around and just take money out. And they can't take money out for 10 years anyway. So they have to be in it for success, and they will do everything they can to achieve that.
It's common sense, really. If the club doesn't miss again, the club has to be doing well for to be making a real profit. They have to be competing, to be making real profit and all of that. But people see things the way they want to see it, and yeah, they sometimes not open-minded to even listen what you have to say with regards to helping them understand why you don't. There's no chance these people will back this club and just run it into the ground. It wouldn't. It will not help them. They paid billions to buy it. Go ahead if you were still speaking, Bobby.
Yeah, you're right. It makes no sense. Even people saying, oh, all these mistakes they're making. Look, Roman Abramovich made a ton of mistakes. But the difference between him and what's happening now was that he had some staggering successes and he hit the big trophies and, the big managers and the big players. And, you have to remember that at the time he came in, competition was not as fierce. He was able to bankroll and blow people out of the water because they didn't have as much money as him. But now
Mm-hmm.
everybody has money, so the competition is more or less more of a level playing field. So you have to be smart in your execution. And, these guys are doing their best. They have to think long term because they
Mm-hmm.
have a 10-year period before they can start taking money out. And they are a consortium of sorts. And there is the profit angle of it. So they have to set the club up to be able to be creating dividend after 10 years, which makes sense. And that model has to be inclusive of success.
Yeah.
Football, yeah, football's trading line is success. If you don't have success, who's going to buy your product? Nobody. Nobody. Look at Man City. Before Man City started winning, nobody knew or cared who they were. There was even a player, Robinho, that when he signed for them, he thought he was signing for Man United. He had no idea where he was going. I
Mm-hmm.
remember back then, Robinho, he thought, oh, he was going to Man United. Then he ended up with another club called Man City. And he was like, okay, so nobody cared who they were. But now they're winning and they've got a good manager and that, they're now being noticed. And this is the model. And this, why do you think they want the Champions League so badly? That title, European champion, it means a lot. You
For the
know,
brand.
oh gosh, yeah. All these people that were talking disparagingly about the World Club Cup. Oh, it's only a cup competition. Yes, but in terms of prestige, in terms of sponsorship, in terms of dealings internationally, all these things add up. If you have these trophies, you end up on another level of trade and another level of notice, as it were. So it's important. And they know this. They know this. They're not happy with what's happened. Outside of the purchase they made, in under a year, they have spent over 5 billion, 600,000, 600 million in players, playing staff, roughly 4.5 billion in the purchase. And this doesn't include all the other bolt on financial
Mm-hmm.
demands that come with the club. They've spent some serious money. So you don't do that if you're not looking to win. They're not trying to create a conveyor belt club of where they just buy and sell players. You can't even do that without having a winning model. People say, oh, what about Leipzig and all that? All these clubs don't necessarily have the initial investment. So they were built on that. They go to the grassroots, they build up players and they sell, like Dortmund does, like Ajax does, and clubs like that. They don't have that initial investment. So they were built on that model of grassroots and sell. But Chelsea's not that at all and can't afford to be that.
Yeah.
We must win. And
we
win.
must. Yeah, winning is important.
Yeah.
Yeah. Winning is good for profit. Here's the thing, just quickly, if you're watching, we're talking about Allianz being interested in sponsoring Chelsea, being Chelsea's short dominant Chelsea. What's the term? There's a language used for it. Short sponsor the coming season, and it's a huge news. If anything, let that show you we're a big club, and no matter what we're going through right now. But that's by the way. And Adeyemi Ariyo, I have a friend. I have to highlight that one who I worked with in Niger. He was a cameraman, Demola Ariyo. I don't know if you know him. Is he your brother? Hello, coach. Have you read the article from Simon Johnson and co? It seems all is not Uhuru in Chelsea FC. Yeah, I understand what you mean, but I don't think that's the case. I think they're just putting out whatever they know will suck up to. It's good for business. Whatever we're going through right now is good for business. Those who don't like us say whatever they want that they know will suck up to. So yeah, I've read it and we've talked about it. Joy the boy, people need to not believe everything they read on one football app. Half us 5 journalists are left to publish on it. Do not believe everything you read on it. Love to all Chelsea FC fans. Join the boy. I haven't seen you in a while. I hope you're doing well. I agree with you. We shouldn't believe everything we read there. Maybe we can tackle as well with Allianz. Yeah, I don't think he leaves Bayern. I think they know what he's capable of doing. He'd probably cook for them next season. Newcastle sponsored Ashley where his chain of shoe shops. Wow, that's some comment there. Chain of discount shops of sports goods, to be frank. Okay, I didn't know. Let's see what else we have here, Coach. You can see the 23-24 kit on Footy Headlines. Go and check it. Okay, thank you so much. I'll check it. Maybe we'll have time to talk about it to see whether people like it or not. Or maybe I'll do a YouTube short video on that. Yeah. 3 betrayed us. We should have removed them last season and keep Trevoh contract, and we needed the money then. So doing away with them would have been worse in that situation. Yeah, to advise Bolly no, I don't think that's going to happen. To her right now, I think she's doing well where she is. It's as simple as that. Prevent Chelsea from going to a relegation. No, it may well get worse actually, but I'm not going to get into that. The 3 are unloyal. They are indeed. Let's see. If Lampard had any shame, he should have resigned. Sorry, but I had to say that. It's your opinion, and you're entitled to. Here's the thing. I don't think he will resign. It's something if he gets fired, and I don't think they fire him. Resigning means gets worse for his coaching resume. It makes it worse. People will shy away from it. They say, I don't know how else to put it, but I know you get my point. If he resigns, he will find it difficult getting jobs anywhere as a manager because simple shows he's not up to the task. It's almost the septic in me is saying Roman has punished the UK authorities for sanctioning him by unleashing a baseball clumsy fan brain on the football club. That's your opinion, but I don't think that's the case, and I know where you're coming from. Coach, how far is my birthday today? I don't know. You tell us. You haven't told me what day your birthday is, so there's no way I could just find out. Yes, people, thank you for 68 likes. We should be doing better than that. Please, if as soon as we get it to 100, I'll put up a poll. asking who wants Poch in. I really hope the owners don't bother the team during the preseason. This summer, interrupting training sessions and so on. I don't think they'd be doing that. I've tried to explain why I think we saw them very often during Graham Potter's days on the training pitch. That was when Potter was really struggling. Maybe they did see that as a way of showing him, look, we're still with you, just to make him comfortable even more, to see if that will help him turn things around. But you get my opinion, and I think I understand where you're coming from. I don't think they do that. Romiho thought he was signing for Chelsea, Bobby. Yeah. I think that's the truth, because we wanted him then to at that time he was Scolari, so he thought he was signing for Chelsea. Yeah, that's correct. A question for Bobby: say Chelsea hired a manager like Pep with the current players. What will he think we'll find ourselves? Bobby, if you have time, you want to take on that quickly. And I will let you know when it's question time, people. We have items to get through right now. If Bobby's there, he will come in and I'll highlight the question for him so he can answer it. So he's probably at work or busy. Okay, there you go, Bobby.
Yeah.
This is the question from Chelsea all the way.
I mean, it would be nice to have a manager like Pep or Pep himself. But, one thing about, first of all, I'll take Pep himself. There's always something tarnished about a manager that is in a particular league and achieves so much. The next team he goes to will never get that history. Never. They will always get the sloppy seconds. And also a manager like Pep. Well, I'm a believer, and I know for sure that you make your own destiny. You make your own greatness. No two types of greatness are the same. So yes, they have managed to get hold of Pep, who did well in Spain, did well in Germany, and now is doing well in England, always with good financial backing or super players. But you tell your own story. Um, I don't know. I've had my trepidations about Pochettino. I don't hide it. But at the same time, if there's ever a club for him to truly make his legacy in world football, it's this Chelsea. It's this Chelsea and this team, because they are young, they are coming together. This is a builder's build. The club needs building. And, if a builder comes in and builds with these young, talented players, something special could very easily be achieved. You see that person? I can only hope. I don't know. I can only hope. None of us know. Um, if Enrique had come in, would he have been able to do anything special? We still don't know. We hope, we
Yeah.
think he has pedigree, but we don't know, and the same with Nagelsmann, who knows, and so we have to wait and see what happens. This is the difficulty and the interesting part of building a football club from the scratch. There's a lot of unknowns. And so you have to make decisions that have no foundation, really. They're just based on either what is available for you at the time, and you need to risk take and make a calculated risk. So everything you do is a calculated risk. Even Roman, he made some mistakes when he brought in who was he fired? He fired in the days he was firing, because some of the people he got rid of, they weren't fired. They just left for reasons and on mutual consent. But he actually fired Angelotti and brought in Scolari. Was it Scolari that came in?
I don't know who followed Ancelotti, but the next person
Well,
didn't do as well.
yeah, one time he had Scolari, who was a World Cup winner, and now he brought him in because he thought, oh, you can win the World Cup like this with Brazil, crikey, you'd be able to, rip up trees with Chelsea. Boy, what a disaster that was.
And he
So was
learned the
that.
difference.
So was AVB. Terrible, terrible risk, and so
Yeah, he won
was
the
Avram
Portuguese league
Grant.
without losing a game, and he thought, wow, he's gonna do it in the Premier League.
Exactly. So, mistakes can and will be made. Roman was successful in that he as I keep saying, he was in an era where it was really only him, especially in the first 2, 3 seasons. So he had his pickings of the best players. I mean, there was a time he nearly even got Messi. You know, Messi was on the cusp of joining Chelsea. He had that much financial power. It's just that I think the whole Catalonia and the Catalan contract that he had was the only
Mhm.
thing that stood in the way. So Roman was very lucky. He had a good hardcore set of players. So good they were that his managerial errors were often, easily negated and glossed over by the sheer brilliance of the
Mhm.
players he had in the.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much for that, Bobby. Nemaya, if you're watching,
Yeah.
I'm going to do a tap in on JC.
Okay.
Now I realize, I think the punctuation there, lack of a period after my today made it confusing to understand. Bobby, were you still talking? Sorry.
Yeah, I had a phone call come in and cut me
Oh,
out,
okay.
but I can drop. You can continue.
All right. Houston, I want to say, Nemaya, apologies, I wasn't paying attention. I didn't realize you were saying it's your birthday today. So here's to your birthday. And if you're in the chat, please join all of us in saying happy birthday to one of the community members here. Nemaya Fawale, he's the very loyal member of the community, always here supporting comments and everything. So Nemaya, some fireworks for you. Happy birthday to you. Today you become a year smarter. Yep, I appreciate you so much. Just know that I mean that from the bottom of my heart. So enjoy your day, and please, thank you for always supporting the channel. So happy birthday to you once more, Nemaya. Thank you for always being available to be part of the show here. Yep, happy birthday, Nemaya Fawale. So we'll move on from that. Let's go after the Nemaya. I've read this one, and this one also, which Bobby answered. And Jesse says, Bobby, today you sound like Matt Law, who comes out with theories to support owners arbitrarily. Wow, that's another word I hate to try to pronounce. Arbitrarily, the default position of starter for any discussion assumes owners are correct and must know everything. I would say Bobby didn't say that. He said they make mistake, just referencing Roman Abramovich's mistake. I think he's saying mistakes are certain, but we move on from it, and I think we'll do well. Pochettino will finish in the top 3 next season. So with Pep, we can maybe finish in the top 2nd. My 2 cents. I believe that. I like your 2 cents. Yes, people, thank you for 70 likes. Let's keep dropping the likes on the stream, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. The likes to go along with. Thank you so much for always finding the time to join in the show. I don't speak much, but I always listen and want to say thanks for everything you do. I appreciate that, my Niger bro. Adeyemi Ario, I appreciate that. That's motivating on its own. Yeah, you're a very, very valued member of the Chelsea Perspective community. The Blues were taken black yellow in Chicago, 2nd August, and U.S. tours pre-sale starts tomorrow. Blues in the USA. Yes, this time they are going to the East, New Jersey, one of the places. I think New York too. That's too far from me, but I'm going to see if I'm going to make it. Maybe I have to start planning ahead of time. They were in Vegas the last time, and I was at the stadium. Let's see what we have here. Do you think we can get another point this season? I think we can. We are facing 2 teams of fighting for the EPL. 2 teams are fighting for top 4, and 2 teams are trying to avoid relegation. So, yeah, all tough teams. I think we'll get at least a point, even more. Let me just keep it at least a point. Where is it going to come from? I'm not sure. But one thing is certain: if Frank Lampard can drill the team to start putting away their chances, I think we're gonna get points from actually the biggest teams. You think we're gonna lose games to, because it's gonna be an open game. But let's see what happens. I'm not too sure, but I still think at least a point. Let me just put it that way. There's no way we would play the remaining games and not get at least a point from them. Namaya, happy birthday again. And this is JC saying happy birthday to you. Have a great day. And next time, try and punctuate properly so I don't think you're asking me what day is your birthday. Let's see what else we have here. Bobby, please don't count me in when you speak your opinion and say we don't know, mate. Those are your opinions, and I am sure a lot of people sit on the other side of the bank. That's the way it is, yeah. And just here's the thing, but I like the way you put it, and Bobby understands that it's all love. We all care for about our beloved Chelsea Football Club. So we have 71 likes, 29 more to get it to 100. Let's make it happen, people. You people are absolute legends, and that can happen. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I cannot thank you all enough. And don't forget, Charisma. What a bad player for the yes, then Ricardo Charisma. I don't know I don't know if I should go to the extent of saying Charisma was a bad player, but we got him on loan. He wasn't a signing for us. On loan, was it on loan under Jose Mourinho? I think it was on loan under Jose Mourinho. The only thing I liked about Charisma was his side foot passes. That's a that's a hilarious one. I will never forget him. I question it when people start categorizing generalization on the terms. You did that. Go through the thread today. You did use the word "we" during the start of this particular show. Correct me if I'm wrong. They almost are starting to sound like lawyers or PR machines. Wow. That's upsetting right there. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. 29 more likes to get it to 100 likes. And if you want to become a member, the link to the membership is pinned at the very top. It costs just $2.99. It helps the community, and also it does help us to continue with our Stay in School project, which we'll be doing it every month. So thank you so much for that. Happy birthday, Namaya from Jerry Z. Happy birthday to you too there, Namaya. Lots of happy birthday messages from Kimso to you. Kachila just said he thinks Chelsea will get a point. Where will it come from? That's when I told you I don't know. So you have every right to laugh at me. Jerry Z says this is the Chelsea channel, and guess making data driven and rational argument. Loving it. Thank you so much. I'm glad you're loving it. Do help us tell more people about it so we can grow. And here we have guys. That is Bar. Is that Derek? Bar Derek. I don't think with Pochettino we're going to win trophies. It's just a team building, nurturing the young players. I think otherwise, but if at least we can get that from him, if we can get him nurturing the players into becoming capable players and capable of helping us win trophy, then if it's not the man to help us win the trophies, then we'll let him go. But at least we get something from him. At least we get stability. Like I've said before, we need to try and stabilize the ship. Be sure the ship is ready to sail. Then we can sail to whatever we want to go. If that makes sense. At least we get something tangible from him. He's capable. At least there's something we know he's capable of doing. Preseason, Mohammed Dex says preseason 2023, Wednesday, 19th July versus how do you pronounce that name? Is it Wrexham? Chapel Hill, Saturday, 22nd of July versus Brighton. In Philadelphia, Wednesday, 26th July versus Newcastle. Atalanta, Sunday, 30th July versus Fulham. Landover, is that Landover? Wednesday, 2nd August versus Dortmund. So that's a sizable or enough game to help us be prepared for next season. And I don't think does that involve too many travels. Even if it does, a sizable enough games. Unlike the last preseason, it was worrying really. Let's want to see Jerry Z. Happy birthday to you, Nehemiah, once more. Let's see what else we have here. I disagree with the comment that Poch cannot win trophies just because he didn't win with Tottenham. Tottenham never had any furniture for him. Poch is not an issue, but Guardiola and City dominance is. Wow. That's from a different perspective that I've heard before. If you're watching, people, keep dropping the likes on the stream. 29 more likes to get it to 100. Please, let's shoot for 100 as soon as possible. The moment we reach 100, I will put up a poll asking you your thoughts, whether you'd support Poch if he emerges as a new Chelsea manager, if you do otherwise. And if you're following the news, remember I had issue with this system. It's not covering 3 screens. I don't have my update window open somewhere. Maybe I should, let me do it on this particular, the system to the right. Maybe that will help. If you haven't, please keep dropping the likes on the stream, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And if you see any update that we haven't talked about here, please remind us. I'd be glad to talk about it. To discuss it. If you see any new update with regards to Poch becoming the new Chelsea manager, please let us know. Coach, if I also used we earlier today in similar context, then I can propose to expand the definition to loyal PR merchants and comedians. I love you so much, bro. Your comments are so delicious to read. I appreciate that. Nehemiah, once more, happy birthday to you. And Nehemiah, you haven't even said it, Coach, thank you. So you don't like me. I'm just letting you don't like me, even though I played the fireworks video for your birthday. Until Chelsea cement their status in the EPL, I am not going to talk about preseason. Wow. Okay. I understand where you're coming from. Let's see what else we have here. That's a point, brother. Thank you so much, guys. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. And if you haven't, please do subscribe to the channel. If you haven't, the likes do go a long way. Thank you so much. We're 71 likes, 29 more to get it to 100. Please, let's do that as soon as possible. Let me see if there's any new update here that I have to share with you. Just checking. Just be patient with me. Okay, I'm not seeing anything new there. Nothing new to look at. So let's see, what else do we have? This says Chelsea have been 11th on the table for months. They're 12th now. We're 12th now. Have that changed? For months only to drop. Okay, you're about, I didn't reach through your message. Only to drop to 12th. This is embarrassing. It is indeed. Even if we end up not getting relegated, this is it doesn't feel like Chelsea. But we'll get through it. Honestly, we'll get through it. That's just the truth. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. 28 more to get it to 100. We can do that, but only if you believe. But I believe you can. But it's up to you now to show. Yeah, we can do that. We have this one here. We've talked about it. Aliens vying for the Chelsea vying one of those vying to take over from the Telecom Group 3 as Chelsea's main shirt sponsor. I'd love that, and it looks good with the sample we looked at. Let's see. Let me see if there's anything new here. Yeah, this says Chelsea plan to hire transfer guru Paul Michel to help clear the decks. He is set to join in a senior post. Wow. That's excellent. That maybe if that's gonna make the whole thing easy. I'll take it as long as he will help us clear the deck as make the process easier, because I think it's going to be difficult for multitude of reasons which I in Taberho, my brother from the Madiba line, did talk about when the show started. That includes player salaries. That includes some other factors that we did talk about then. So let me see, anything else new? Okay, nothing new there. We'll move on from that one. What else do we have here? There's not even an update since the last 40 hours on Pochettino. It's been quiet, like a chilling January in Halifax. Wow, I like that. It's been quiet for a while now, and there's no telling why that is. Hopefully everything is all right. I don't want a situation where we find out they're looking at what's his name? They're looking at Vincent Kompany. I really do not want that to happen. So here's another interesting one. We still have all the transfer topic lined up to talk about. This one here says Manchester United already opened talks. I heard that. I think I read something to that effect a few days ago, 3 days ago or so. And Chelsea, Pochettino loves him. Are interested in signing Harry Kane in the summer transfer window. His contract expires in 2024. Tottenham asks 120 million euros for the striker, and Levy would prefer to sell him to a foreign club rather than any English club, especially Chelsea Football Club. And the way I see, they say, like Bobby said, something to the effect of, if you don't buy tickets, you're never going to win a lottery. Do I think we're capable of signing Kane? We are capable of signing Kane, but do I think it's possible that it happens? It's really, really difficult for a few reasons. One, Kane is not that young anymore, and you can say Chelsea at this point, I don't think will look ready to win trophies anytime soon. If it happens next season, I'll take it. But it's something that I look at. He will not be too certain if he gets to win anything at Chelsea if he joins us before he retires, and it's not that young anymore. So it just doesn't make sense. Plus, Daniel Levy, as long as Kane, one more factor here actually, as long as he isn't living on a free, as long as he's not a free agent, it will be difficult for him to decide he wants to come to Chelsea, and Daniel Levy will say, okay, you know what, I'll let you go. It would take something, paying something out of this world. I don't even think Chelsea will agree to pay anything north of 70 million euros to secure the signature of Harry Kane. I think it's if we pay such money for him, I don't think it will make any sort of sense. And there's no guarantee we get the value for our money, if that makes sense. With regards to the case of Mauricio Pochettino, we're not sure what's happening. We hope to hear something in the next day or so. If it happens today, I'll take it. The last set of rumors that really moved me, that made me pay attention to what's being said out there, is the one that said there's a chance they announce him on Saturday, and that the ownership, the owners, the board, that they had a meeting scheduled at LA. They all met, and Igbali, when leaving a game in LA, also was asked by a Chelsea fan who's whether Pochettino will become the next manager, whether his announcement is imminent, and his response was something to the effect of maybe. So I'm not sure what to make of that. You can draw your own conclusions. A conclusion from that response from Igbali. So we move on from that. I hope this happens. I just want us to be certain who our next manager will be come next season, so that that person will start working immediately, taking a look at the squad, deciding what players are surplus or requirement, and what players he wants to keep, and all that. That makes it easier. If it's taking this long, if the manager isn't certain whether the job is theirs, will become theirs or not, I don't think they will invest too much of their time in it, if that makes sense. Kane can come as a free agent in 2024. I just worry about his fitness and age. Just as I typed, Coach said the same thing. His age is it's an important factor to consider. Even from his perspective, I don't think he would want to come to Chelsea right now, if that makes sense. But we move on from that. What else do we have here? But I want to get your thoughts with regards if you think it's possible. Shaq says Kane and Lukaku are semi-age. What number? Let me be certain. I just don't want to pull out number from my wazoo and throw it at you. Let me see how old is Kane right now. It's up to somebody in the chat types it. Does it say it on the screen now? On that, it didn't say that there. Okay, let me say, check Harry Kane age. Harry Kane age 29. Yeah, so at 29, paying 120 million euros for a 29-year-old, no. And plus, his thing, he's played with the Tottenham team for a long time now. And at 29, he's still, if he joins Chelsea, he still need time to adapt, to get used to the players we have. So that's a factor you have to consider. Paying 120 million euros for a 29-year-old, it doesn't make any sort of sense. Yes, people keep dropping the likes on the stream. 28 more likes to get it to 100. Please, let's get it there as soon as possible. JC says they may be of the same age, but Lukaku has to carry 40 kg of extra weight between his chest and but what makes him a big suspect? Okay, I understand. Lukaku's case it's a difficult one to deal with. It divides opinion in the fan base. There are still a few who thinks he can come back and start, firing on all cylinders for us. Some don't want to see him. He didn't help matters. It wasn't like he did that bad during his second stint at Chelsea, but that interview ruined everything. I'm sure the fans really wanted to still support him, even though he struggled a bit. But he didn't help matters with that interview. Like I think we've talked that to a considerable extent. Anything else lined up here? Nothing else. Let's talk about Chalobah. Let's talk about Trevoh Chalobah. The news is the Inter Milan, they're willing to let go. What's his name? Andre Onana, but only if we're willing to give them Trevoh Chalobah in return. I think they mentioned one other player, which I don't want us to sell Trevoh Chalobah, especially now that we have to balance the books and before making some signings most likely, or make some sales before making some signings. If we sell Chalobah, we'll be short in the defensive area, and the Koulibaly and Silva, they're not getting any younger, which means if we're going to sign any new player, we'll be spending quite a lot of money, probably nearly twice as much money we will get from his sale. That is if we get any. If we get them in exchange, for Andre Onana, which means we'll not be getting any money. So I don't think he's a player we should consider selling. Bobby, what do you make of the rumors that Inter would want Trevoh Chalobah in exchange for Andre Onana, which I heard also that we began talks with Inter Milan to see that is with the intent of signing Andre Onana. That is, if you're still there, if not, I'll keep talking to those in the chat until you're ready to speak. Otis Maxwell says, Coach, we would be signing a minimum of 20 Premier. We will be signing a minimum of 20 Premier League goals a season for at least 3 seasons in Kane. My concern is that there's no guarantee. Here's the thing, let me not just say, the truth remains, it takes time. It will take time for him to start fighting all cylinders for us. That's how I see it, because we have a different set of a different set of players that he hasn't played for. The Tottenham team, he's played with them for a while now. That's more than, correct me if I'm wrong, let me just say at least 5 years, at least 3 years maybe. So he's not going to come to Chelsea, and it could happen, but there's a chance it takes him time to adapt to playing with the new players we have, if that makes sense. Let's see what else we have here. Chalobah is too good and needed. I think he's needed. He's a fine player, but a lot of Chelsea players, if he makes one mistake here and there, to them it just shows it's not good enough for Chelsea. No player is perfect, and we must not remember his World Cup form. He was excellent for us. Why Graham Potter started dropping him to the bench after the World Cup is something that I just do not understand. To me, he's an excellent player. He has the fight is in him. He's good on the ball. He can also read the game well, but he's not a finished. He's not a complete player yet. He's still young. He's just 23. Correct me if I'm young. If anything, the most will be 24. And the older he gets, the more mature he becomes, and the more games he plays, the more we'll start. The more games he plays, the less we'll be seeing the less and less of those mistakes that made people, some of the fan base, start calling for the club to sell him. I don't think he's a player we should consider selling. Chalobah is too good and needed. If I am honest, Thiago doesn't have many years left. That's just the truth. So we should be pragmatic and keep Chalobah. Losing Thiago may not be a big catastrophe. Yep. But we need to keep those players that played with him, alongside him, and have learned a few things from him, and that will go a long way. Let's see. There's a tweet by Romano on Kane 40 minutes ago. Could this be a sign? Let me see. What does the tweet say? Let me check Fabrizio Romano's tweet. Just give me a few minutes here. There you go. I'm going to look at it when it loads. Let me see if I can find anything new. That's on April 27, 42 minutes ago. Hurricane. Okay, he says, I feel like we lost a bit of what the values are at this club over the last few years. It's about finding a way to get back on the same page again, even with our fans. He told Sky Sports, we want to improve. That goes from the top right through the club. To me, it's nothing with regards to his transfer. If anything, he's just reinstating his commitment to Tottenham. So I don't read anything too much into it with regards to him leaving Tottenham. Let's see. 20 goals a season from one player would be 19 more than who we have. I get it. It's a solid argument, but how are you sure? How certain are you that if we sign him, he will come in and start fighting on all cylinders? Yeah, but we move on from that. Yes, people keep dropping the likes on the stream and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. We need just 16 more likes to get it to 100 likes. That will go a long way. It says, Coach, last few games he's played better than Fofana. I think he played well. He was good against Real Madrid. Yeah, I have to say that. Fofana is more flashy and takes risks. Yep, he likes carrying the ball too. I think that's where the risk that you mentioned comes in. Chalobah makes it keep it simple, stupid. That's how I like to say it. But thank you for bringing that up. We have a brother here, Mark. Mark, how are you doing? Thank you and welcome to the panel.
I'm good, Coach Sheila. How are you doing?
I can't complain. I can't complain. Thank you so much for joining us today. I don't know were you listening to us? Anything else you want to start from? Do you want to start where we're at right now? Up to you.
Okay. First of all, I would like to talk about. Let me greet your listeners. First of all, I would like to talk about how Chelsea fans are so desperate to get rid of the younger players, and it's so appalling because if you look at some of these younger players, they are the future of our club. And I don't get it why we normally don't like these younger players to be around. Because in every team, if you want a very good foundation, it has to start from the base. And these boys have been here for so long. We've done a lot of mistakes in the previous years. And I still don't know why people will be calling some names and they don't want them in the club. I think there is a tradition, or should I say, there is something that Abramovich brought to the club, and still people think we have to go to that route because Chelsea fans are known for big names. You know, we always go for big names and we buy them. Why don't we start from our own club? The academy is there. There are so many good players, younger players, and I think it's time we use some of these boys because they are the future of our club. If somebody should tell me that we should get rid of Chalobah, it's rather unfortunate. This boy is so good, just that he has been in and out, and we can't blame him. How many coaches have we, used in the past year? We need the stability. We need a coach who will come in and develop him. So if somebody should say that we should get rid of him and bring in some world class name or whatever, I don't think it's done that way. If you go to Germany and even look at Manchester United, before Manchester United became so low with their performance, they used to go to the academy. When Sir Alex Ferguson came in, he was so entrusted with the young guys. The 1991-92 class, they were the base he started using, and they were able to achieve a lot of results. So for me, I don't think it's very necessary for us to target the younger players. They are our future, and we should give them the opportunity to play in this club. And maybe if we can blend it with some experienced players, I think that
Yeah.
would be perfect. But we cannot just get rid of everybody. We have so many talents, and we should be very careful. We've done so many mistakes. That's the reason why Kevin De Bruyne, went to Man City. And now look at him right now. We have the likes of Salah. They were all here. They were very young. But at the time, Mourinho wanted to use, bigger players. And that was the reason why they were not here, or currently they are not here with us. So we should be very careful and circumspect with our comments, and make sure that we let these boys stay around, and they will be useful in the future.
Yeah, just quickly an update here. It says Fabrizio Romano on Pochettino to Chelsea. Why the deal is not in place or completely and not announced yet is because they are working on the final crucial points of the contract length clauses. We wait, but all sources are very confident on the appointment of Mauricio Pochettino. That's according to Fabrizio Romano. Yes, people, thank you for 75 likes, 15 more to get it to 100. If you haven't, keep dropping the likes on the stream. And also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And if you want to become a member, it's just $2.99 a month. And the link to the membership is pinned to becoming a member is pinned at the very top. Coach, yep, I think I've read that one. Yep, he's an excellent player, actually. Coach, what is the key advantage of using 4-2-3-1 over a 4-3-3? It depends on the players you have. Let's say, for instance, 4-3-3 also, 4-3-3 necessary, but 4-2-3-1, you can accommodate a 10, you can accommodate 2 wingers, you can accommodate 2 6s, and a number 9. With 4-3-3, I think mainly designed for forwards, 3 midfielders, 3 central midfielders, and 3 forwards, central forward, left forward, right forward. A 4-2-3-1 would be the best formation for us, I think, because we have too many wingers and we have to accommodate them. And I think we have players also who likes to play in the number 10 position. I think for me, 4-2-3-1, I think that's a formation I love so much. And my friend Khalid Worldwide just likes that formation too. A lot of people like that. Lots of top managers play that too. And Pochettino, I think he likes 4-2-3-1. But everything comes down to the profile of players you have available to you, if that makes sense. I'll come back to you in a bit, Mark. Just give me Jerry. The elephant in the Chelsea room is 4-3. Oh yeah. Let's see what we have at Chelsea. So keeps Chalobah is a great. I think they will keep him. It's just nonsense. Remember. This is not the first time. And remember, this is not Chelsea saying they want to sell him. That's Inter saying they want him. If we're willing to offer a player in exchange for Onana, that's the player they want. Now, Poch will need to make sure that both Bally and the Elephant stay out of the room. I think they have to. They both have to stay out of the room. On the mention of Bally, who is the Elephant, then you guys sort that one out. I don't think I'm going to get involved in that conversation. Elephants are all the directors of football that Poch will need to deal with. I've tried to explain why I think they were frequent. We did see them frequently during Graham Potter's era on the training ground. Just like I said, maybe because things weren't going were bad for us then. Maybe they were just doing that to make him feel comfortable, to make him feel and believe that they seriously do still trust him at that point. But that's by the way, we'll move on from that. Let's talk about this. I'm going to bring you in again, Mark. The talks are that Mateo Kovacic, he wants a fresh start. He wants to move on, and he's entering the last 12 months of his Chelsea contract. So it makes sense for the club to want to cash in on him. I would have loved him to stay, but I think he really does want to move on. And I'm glad he's making his intentions clear. He's not like he's not playing like Antonio Rudiger and Andreas Christensen, who played us. You can argue that looking back, I feel like they played us. I feel like that they knew all the while that they were going to leave. They wanted to leave as free agents. They wanted the sign-on fee they get from the new club, because living on a free means everything you get comes to you and your agent. To him, at least, he's making it clear he wants to move on. Your thoughts? I would have loved the club to give him more. What do you think, Mark?
We have to be very careful, Coachella, the way some of these experienced players will be exiting the club. if we really want to build, we have to build around the experienced players. And for Kovacic to leave the club, that means there will be only one experienced player in the middle, which is Kante, and nobody is sure whether Kante is also staying. So I guess if they can do anything and everything, because already we've done a mistake by selling Rudiger, and it's affecting us in a way. At least if you have some experienced players around in all departments, it's going to help the up and coming players. You don't just get rid of your experienced players with the hope that the younger players will, get on their feet and start performing. It doesn't work that way. Trust me, there are so many players who can even play the Champions League for the first time. And guess what? The experienced players will tell them, hey, you don't have to be afraid of this game. You can make it. They have to talk to them. They have to communicate with them. And gradually, if the younger ones become so known to the system, the experienced players can leave. So for me, it will be unwise for us to cash on Kovacic. What we can do is we need to talk to him and let's give him at least 2 more years for him to stick around and see what happens. Because if we get rid of him, it's going to. And let's not forget that Kovacic has been so good, just that injury has not helped him to be consistent with his performance. But if you look at Kovacic on a good day, he can play so well. So it's going to be unwise for us to catch on Kovacic. We should do everything possible to keep him, to help the younger ones.
Yeah, experience is key. Experience will be key to what we're going to be able to do in the coming season. If we'll have all, our average age right now should be around 24, 25. Experience is key. You need balance in every squad to win stuff. Arsenal, you can say the issues they're having right now is lack of depth in experience. They have lots of young players. They have the spirit. They have the fight. But yeah, you've seen them dropping points in games you think they'd win, and that is, you could say, down to lack of experience.
Yes,
that's just me trying to be. So my point is, I think, yeah, but the issue is this: in the case of Kovacic, he wants to leave, and when a player wants to leave, it wouldn't make any sort of sense to try to get them to stay.
That's the problem. That's the problem we are facing, and nobody knows why all of a sudden Kovacic wants to leave. So probably there is something out there where he doesn't feel good or he's not happy about it. That's why the owners should sit down with him. Because if you look at people who are unwilling to sign contract, there are people who were also talking about Mason Mount. I know Mason Mount is so happy to stay with Chelsea, but what is really going on? And all of a sudden, these players have decided not to sign a new contract. There should be something going on. Probably they don't know where this club is going. Maybe they think the project these owners are suggesting is something they are not seeing it clearly. So for me, if they sit him down and talk to him and let him know that, hey, you've been here for a long time, we really want you to be here, that would be perfect. And on the other side, probably maybe the owners don't really care if Kovacic will leave, because if they really want to keep him, he's going to stay. The same thing happened to Rudiger. Rudiger was willing to stay, but at the end of the day, when he left, he did an interview and he said if they had convinced him a little bit, he would have stayed. But what happened?
Here's the thing with regards to that Rudiger comment. I don't think so. I think he's already made up his mind to leave, because convincing him will include paying him something extraordinary, because he's already known he's going to get a sign-on fee by joining Real Madrid as a free agent. It would have been very, very difficult to do anything close to, for the club to be able to say, yeah, we can accommodate your salary, and if any salary measure close to something that he'd be earning at Madrid, or even the sign-on fee. He wouldn't even mind earning less, but the sign-on fee is huge. But go ahead with what you were saying.
Yeah, but the thing is, probably if you convince him and you come in the middle, I guess he has been so long here. He stayed here for a very long time. If you let him know, he'll probably be considerate. But if we decide to say, hey, well, if you want to go, you can go, it's going to cause a lot of problems. Because right now, if you look at the experienced players we are having, ever since Hazard left, 2019 was supposed to be the year we should have started our transition. But we've gone through so many things. There was a ban, there was transition as to who is going to take the club. So if you look at 2019 up to 2023, we've been unable to come up with a team. Now we are doing a new transition, which I guess we need to involve some of the bigger guys in the team. If we get rid of everybody, it's going to take us another 2 years. And let's say that if a coach comes in, and you know how Chelsea fans talk so much and he's not doing well, we might also change again. And every time there will not be any consistency, coming up with a formidable side. So for me, we should be protecting all our older guys, Thiago Silva, N'Golo Kante, Kovacic, whoever is around, we should maintain them. And if some players don't want to be here and those players are a little younger and they want to go, we can consider that. Regardless, we need to trim down the squad. So it's about
we need to trim. We need to trim down the squad, and at the same time, we need to make sure there's balance. Experience is key. We have a very good squad, but without experience, they're not going to be able to achieve much.
Exactly.
Let me just catch up with what we have in the chart, Matt.
Sure.
Elephants are all the director. I think I've read that one. Jesse here says, Coach, I am waiting when CFC will auction on eBay the contents of that luxury recreation room Bali was building. No, we haven't heard much about that. I think I'll be able to buy. And correct me, I think I've been misquoting how many more likes we need to get to 100. We have 18 now, which means we need 20 more. 20 more likes to get it to 100 people. Let's get it there as soon as possible. Please keep dropping the likes on the stream. And also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. The likes to go a long way. And if you're watching, you're not able to participate in the chat, it's understandable. We appreciate that. You watching alone, you contribute to the size of view we get by the time the show ends. But if you can do us one tiny bit more favor, if you can, please take a second, drop a like on the stream, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. The likes to go a long way. Coach, the update you gave on Poch is just a recent update. I think it's recent, most recent. I don't think Poch is going to be Chelsea manager. Okay, a lot of people wouldn't want that to happen, but let's see what happens. There's no talent. Let's see what else. Let's see what else we have here. He doesn't want to be here. Cover out. No one is irreplaceable. I wouldn't go to the term extent of saying cover out. He served us well. He's one of my most overused players. Actually, he's been getting injured here and every now and then. That's because we overused him, especially under Thomas Tuchel. I think there was another manager that overused him too. Coach, it's awkward to evaluate current players as poor. I don't think they're poor. They could. I'm just saying we need a balance. Maybe you heard someone else say that. Honestly speaking, they're all very, very good players. That's the truth. I think that they've had their own issues. They're not perfect. There are a multitude of reasons as to why where we are today in terms of performance or on the table, Premier League table, being in 12th position. Some reasons down to the manager, some the players, some we had the village of injured players also. That didn't help. Blame Potter all you want. The truth remains he had a lot of players out, and that didn't help. Even if it's a bad manager, with those players available, had those players been available to him, chances are the case would have been different. If it is Company or the Celtic manager who I cannot even pronounce it, then I am going to leave in a forest. I don't think it will be either of the two. Big up Keshawn, my New York bro, the New York guy. Always nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. I think Chelsea is trying to get the Real Madrid manager Ancelotti, Carlo Ancelotti.
Not possible.
Okay. I don't think it's possible. What do you say, Mark? You said something.
Yeah, I don't think it's possible. Carlo is not going to leave Madrid anytime soon. And hopefully, if he's leaving, he's probably going to take the Brazilian job, which he has come out to say no, he's not going to Brazil. So at this moment, they like him, and he also likes the club. And I don't think he's going to fall into this mess at this moment. We should forget about it. Probably.
Carlo will only leave Madrid if he retires or if they fire him.
Exactly. And right now,
he's not going to see any other job, see the Chelsea job, and say, "I think this job is more attractive to me. I'm just going to go take it because it's Chelsea." No, but go ahead with what you were saying.
Yeah, so I don't think he's going to come around anytime soon, unless maybe we are going to give him some lucrative contract for him to say no to it. I don't see him leaving Real Madrid at the moment, because if you look at him, he's in the semi-finals of the Champions League. He's also doing something well with the local how do we call it, the La Liga. So for you to go and appoint Carlo Ancelotti, have you also asked if Real Madrid is going to allow him to leave at this moment and go for who? Nagelsmann? This is what people are talking about it, but I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. Carlo Ancelotti is going to be in Madrid in a couple of years, and he's not going to leave anytime soon. We should forget about that.
Yeah, I don't see that happening. Let me catch up with everything we'll have in the chat, and we'll move on to the next topic. Chadwick Ebanks, my Jamaican bro, pop, wagwan bro, heights and blessings from Almighty. I hope you're doing well, brother. Always nice to see you. Thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. Jobless. Let's move on to who do we have here next. I'm afraid Man City may drop points. I don't think so. I think they're going to win it. I hope they do. To me, that would be something to look at and say, well, I think I will endure the situation with the fact that Manchester City won the league. I think to me it would. I'll take that. Get Liverpool manager. He speaks on us. But he didn't speak. He practically was having a go at us. It was a banter practically. He said everything he said that I believe were to some extent the truth. Then he ended it by saying we will never do such at Liverpool. To me, it's a banter. Coach, imagine a group of thugs turn up on a street in front of CFC players' houses. Which players will have the character to come out and tackle the situation? Let me help you. Thiago Silva, J5, Kovacic, Rudiger. Unfortunately, we let J5 go. But to me, we're all entitled to our opinion. I think that is one player we should have kept. No matter how you see it, I know some people will say who. I'd still argue, had they still been around, I think our situation could have been different. That's my opinion. I know a lot of people think otherwise. But we move on from that. Chelsea should appoint Klopp. Nope, I don't think that's going to happen, even if the possibility isn't there right now. Yes, people, thank you so much for 82 likes, 18 more to get it to 100. Let's get it there as soon as possible. 2 are gone. Third will leave. Keep the last one, please. Okay, thank you so much for that. Coach, I will be leaving now. I really appreciate your analysis time and the happiness you provide. God bless you. God bless you too, Jersey. I appreciate you saying that's very kind of you, taking the time to say such beautiful words. I appreciate that. That motivates me. So thank you so much. Willie B, I haven't seen you for a while, bro. Do let me know how you're doing. I hope everything is all right with you. He says sometimes in life, players want a new challenge and fresh start. Sometimes he's just going to let him go. And Kovacic, I must say, he served us well. Let him go if he feels tired of Chelsea. At the moment, we're not encouraging anyone by blowing hot and cold. Yeah, no stability, no certainty. But I don't think that's why he wants to leave. Even before now, I think Ty told us a month ago or 2 months ago that Kovacic is looking to leave the club. But we move on from that. If he wants to leave, we just let him go. This is the guy I want us to talk about right now. Let's start with Andre Onana. Mark, is he a player you want to see at Chelsea? I've heard so much. I wasn't actually paying attention that much to his ability on the ball, but the last time we talked about him, lots of praises from the chat with regards to his distribution, his ability on the ball, and all that. I think he's taller than Kepa. But some people think he's not an upgrade to Kepa Arrizabalaga or Mendy especially, but I think he's better than Mendy on the ball, at least from the little I've seen. But Mendy maybe has better reflexes. I think so, better reflex, I think. But your thoughts, would you want to see Onana at Chelsea? And if you're on the chat, I want to get your thoughts. What do you make of us being linked with Onana? And Salihu, Nuku Lukman, if you're watching, your message was deleted because you used more than 3 emojis. If you're not a moderator, please avoid using more than 3 emojis. Otherwise, your message will be deleted. So, but Mark, your thoughts?
Well, they are saying we should bring Onana. Well, it's fair argument, but as to whether it's necessary, I don't think it's necessary, because if you are bringing Onana and Mendy is still there, why don't you let the coach rectify some of the mistake Mendy was doing so that you can keep him here? And we can also think about Slonina. We have a very young chap who is really doing well. So bringing Onana, that means Slonina's chance will be, extended to some other year. He's not going to be here anytime soon. So for me, if they want to bring Onana, it would be wise for us to keep Mendy and probably rectify some of the mistake he was doing previously. Because if you look at Mendy, he was really doing good in the past 2 seasons, but something just happened and injury also came in, and we've not heard from him. So bringing Onana, I don't think is necessary. To be honest, we can still keep our goalies, and in the future, Slonani will come and join them. But we need to just ignore some of these things, because we are spending a lot of money, and we also have to be careful with some of the bans that we might face in the future. So I don't think it's necessary for us to bring Onana at this time. No.
Here's the thing. If Mendy ends up leaving Chelsea, I don't think it will be down to his form. I think it most likely come down to the fact that he hasn't put pen to paper for a new contract. The club offered him one and he rejected it, which means they probably offered him something not close to what he was expecting. He's been expecting to get from the club, given his performance, because he was excellent for us, except that a poor run of form, which Tuchel didn't drop him. Tuchel actually trusted him. He only dropped the bench after he got injured and then came back. And you can say Kepa actually has done well. See it however you want, but Kepa has actually not done badly. Mendy also must be, if I'm being truthful here, is actually equipped to do better than Kepa. But one thing is certain, Kepa is better than him in terms of ball distribution and maybe ability on the ball. And I think Mendy don't get enough credit given how good he's actually on the ball. He's not the best, but his
reflexes.
He doesn't get enough credit for that. But my point is, he may well end up leaving Chelsea, given the fact the club hasn't offered him something that he's willing to accept. And two, he's as a Senegalese international and as a keeper, again, who's confident in his ability. And plus the fact that there won't be shortage of clubs willing to take him and pay him what he wants. I think Mendy may well end up leaving Chelsea, not because he's a bad goalkeeper, but because he's refused to put pen to paper for a new contract, and I don't blame him. He's the one that puts in the work, and he deserves something close to, or something, a same salary as Kepa Arrizabalaga, or even bigger, because he was the one between the sticks when we won the Champions League. In all the trophies we won. But if you ask me to choose between the two goalkeepers, I'd take Kepa Arrizabalaga, but that's my opinion, and that's not me saying that Mendy is a bad goalkeeper. So I don't think they're looking at Onana because they want to sell Mendy for the sake of it. I think if they decide to sell Mendy, it will most likely be because he's refused to sign a new contract, and Mendy himself would want to leave, given the fact I don't see him accepting being the second choice goalkeeper, if that makes sense. Let's move on from that. The disrespect for Mendy by this fan base is shocking. As much as I'd argue that at one point he was averaging a single mistake per game, I wouldn't go to the extent of saying he's a bad goalkeeper. No, he's a goalkeeper and actually equipped enough to do better than Mendy. Kepa Arrizabalaga, if he can look himself in the mirror and do some self-assessment and come see areas where he needs to improve, I think he'll become better. Good morning, Coach. Ladipopo Mesole, nice to see you, brother. I hope you're doing well. Just noticed you are online. Waited yesterday. Yesterday, we had to postpone the show. I postponed it actually twice or 3 times because the internet wasn't stable. I think it's far better now. Onana is better than Kepa. I have watched his videos from Ajax, Cameroon, and Inter Milan. Good with both hands and legs. Kepa can be sold. Okay, let's see what the club does in the end. I think Kepa, there's a chance he gets sold. And if that happens, it will most likely be down to his salary. If he refuses to take a pay cut, the club will most likely sell him. A lot of people, Mendy also wants to leave. I think I heard that too. Kepa not a sufficient cover to should be sold. The revelation about our dressing room from Football Athletic is so disheartening. That is, if you believe it. And to me, I think we should be cautious. We should be very, very cautious with regards to what we read and believe. The situation we found ourselves in has left us vulnerable to, you could say, to the Twitter journalists and every journalist out there, knowing they can look at a certain situation, make a story out of it, put it out there, and people will suck up to whatever they say is happening. So I get it. I mean, there are reasons to believe it, but my advice is don't just believe it. Don't. Go ahead, Mark, if you wanted to say something.
Yeah, I think some of the people who normally defend Chelsea on this media should be very careful as to what they see and they want to believe it. If it's not coming from the official mouthpiece, you should just ignore it, because the more you're doing that, the more you bring instability or you bring a lot of confusion among the fan base. Because you hear something. I guess most of these people speculate a lot. I don't think there is any truth about it. And even if there is any truth about it, some of the media guys should be very careful. They have to psych the fan base, because hearing some of this news, there will be so much of confusion. And let's not forget, some of our executives also are on social media. They see what is going on. They hear so many things. The players are also there. They will be hearing so many things. There will be different form of abuse. And we should be very, very careful some of these things, because the more we do that, we try to bring, confusion among the squad, and it's not helping the team. So if we hear something, we have to hear it from the mouthpiece. Other than that, we should just ignore it, because it's not helping the club.
Yeah, I do agree with you. It doesn't. We should be careful what we believe in, But we're moving from that. A lot of people, always nice to see you, brother. I hope you're doing well. Without Mendy, Chelsea winning nothing. That's a solid, strong enough argument. He was between the sticks in the finals of those trophies we won. We won under Thomas Tuchel. Yeah, so credit to him. Big up Coachella, Prince Moores. I think we should go for Dibu Martinez. Elaborate. I don't know that player, I have to be honest. But that's by the way. I don't think we'll be signing too many players. I think the priority will be the midfield area and a number 9. Then if either one of our goalkeepers ends up leaving, then we'll be looking at the goalkeeper. A lot of people says Onana, Pochettino's recommendation. That's according to what we're hearing. If he is to take over Chelsea, yep, I heard that too. So thank you for mentioning that. Yes, people, if you're watching, please keep dropping the likes on the stream. We're at 85 likes, 15 more to get it to 100. Please, let's get it to 100 as soon as possible. Let's see what else we have here. I am 100% sure if Mendy was in goal, we wouldn't be in top position. Kepa is so bad. It's shocking. I don't know what people see in that ball. Here's the thing. That's your opinion. In my opinion, I'd also let you know if Kepa wasn't between the stick. Not saying that's a chance that wouldn't be the case if it was Mendy. I'm just saying if it wasn't for Kepa's brilliance, believe me, we should be 16th, 17th right now. Go look at all those games. In most games, I think he emerged as our best player in a lot of games on the ground, Potter. And then if you take your time to watch those games, you truly come to the conclusion that if it wasn't Kepa, we would have lost more games than we've lost right now. That's not me saying if it was Mendy who was between the sticks, but for us in those games, that the case wouldn't be the same. But you are highlighting Mendy's brilliance, and I am highlighting Kepa's brilliance. And we're all entitled to our opinions. So much love to you, brother, and thank you for saying that. Let me see. Abdelkafi Maxamed. Is that how you pronounce your name there? Yeah, Maxamed. And nice to see you, brother. I hope you're doing well. What about the news that the coach Pochettino is coming? We've heard from 2 days ago that it's getting closer and closer and closer, but we're not sure. we base on our discussion on speculations. But what we try to do is dissect and analyze the information we see out there, and then try to come to a sensible conclusion. My advice is only believe it again. Believe it's happened once we get an official announcement from the club. Right now, it's all speculations. There's no way to say it's certainly that Mauricio Pochettino will emerge as the new Chelsea manager. Use this as an example. At first, we thought it was going to be Julian Nagelsmann, and see where we're at today. So people keep dropping the likes on the stream, and if you haven't, please also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thank you so much for all the support. Martinez of Aston Villa, the goalkeeper. I didn't know that was his first name. I don't know. It depends on who the new manager wants. Some fans complain about so-called disrespect to Mendy, and then come out with a shocking statement on Kepa. It's funny. Kepa stats are one of the best. At the EPL this season. Yeah, I think one of my friends, staff, have also said that here. Kepa, he's been excellent for us actually. So unfortunately, most of us don't look at the numbers. But let's see what we have. Martinez at Villa, only good on penalty. Okay, Kachila, we've lost almost every game when Kepa is in goal. That position, I think you're cherry picking right now, Chelsea, all the way. Honestly, you're cherry picking. What about the games that we could have lost? That it was Mendy, it was Kepa that the brilliance helped us to come out with a point or 3 points. And even in the Champions League, he was excellent on the ground. But I get you are entitled to your opinion. Excuse me. Let me see. Chimera, nice to see you, brother. I hope you're doing well. 14 more likes. Let's get it to 100. Come on, people. We can get there. New reports say Chelsea are interested in signing Neymar since PSG is clearing house. I can't believe I'm going to use the word stupid. As much as I think Neymar would be a good addition to the club, but signing Neymar right now would be a very, very stupid thing to do. He's not going to come cheap. We have issues in the midfield area. We need a defined defensive midfielder. We need a number 10 capable of producing double digits in terms of assists and sometimes goals. We need a number 10 that's capable of producing clear-cut chances from the central areas. All we've tried to do predominantly is putting balls into the box from the flanks. We don't create too many chances from the central area, and that makes us very predictable. We need a player who's capable of doing that. I liked the kid, Arsene Zarayan, the Russian kid. You could say his style of play. He's a mashup of Kevin De Bruyne and Cesc Fabregas. He's able to dissect opposition defense from the central area. We need that sort of player, so we should prioritize our signings. Hopefully, this is just rumors because it's one that doesn't make any sort of sense. I'll come back to you in a bit, Mark, to get your thoughts on whatever you want to add to this. Sure. Keep dropping the likes, people. 13 more likes to get it to 100. We can do that. Some games that we considered 2 goals. If not for Kepa, we would have considered 6, especially Brighton. Mendy dropped his form before his injury. I would have preferred Dibu Martinez of Aston Villa. To me, I like Diogo Costa, the Portuguese international. He's a good goalkeeper, but we could talk about our preferences again, or what goalkeeper we prefer to come to Chelsea. Till Tamari doesn't make any difference. It all comes down to the manager. Big up to you, Glenn. Much love to you. Big up, Coach. Panel chat. I've been listening for an hour or so, but just got home. Hope you're all doing well. Thank you so much for asking that. I am doing well, brother. I appreciate you asking that question, and I hope you're well too. And good to see that you begin work. I think at one point you told us that you were suspended. Coach, can I blame? I even hate to say that. And let's move on from that. Can I blame Putin also for every game with us this season? The link with Kepa and every loss isn't vague. It's much different matter. Yeah, I get that. I understand that. Kepa stats is like that because of how bad the team is. What? Really? That is some argument from Otis, but that's by the way. We're not here to talk about Kepa. I am a Chelsea supporter. It's very bad what's happening to us. Do you think we will recover from this a terrible problem? I think we will. When I cannot be specific. I think here's the thing. It's a good thing we don't have a European assignment the coming season with where we'll find ourselves. I've always preferred the fact if we don't have a Champions League football, I don't want us to participate in the Europa League or Europa Conference League. I'd rather us not have any other European assignment, but concentrate in the league with lesser competition to participate in. The more time, less travel would have, the more would concentrate in again. The more time the manager will have in concentrating in building the team. And yeah, I think we'll be fine next season. How well we're gonna do, I'm not sure really. That's an unfortunate situation. This year says 172 million and 150k a week goalkeeper. What a waste of time and money. Ball distribution for 72 million. Well, that's another way to see it. But do I think he's that bad? I don't think he is. I think he's a good goalkeeper overall, but I think we can do better. I wanted Diogo Costa as well. Wally Waldo, big up to you, brother. Always nice to see you. Thank you so much for finding the time to join in the show. I hope you don't mind me always mentioning the name Wally you've taken up from your name. I hope that you don't mind me saying that. That comes to mind whenever I see you in the chat. The disrespect to Kepa now is worse than some for Mendy. Look who was complaining. We move on from that. Mark, anything else you want to say before we move on to the next topic?
Yeah, in terms of somebody saying that are we going to do well next season, I would say yes, because if you look at the squad we have right now, this were the same squad with the exception of I think Timo Werner, Christiansen, Rudiger, and Alonso who left the club, and they were able to like win the Champions League. The standard was very high with Thomas Tuchel, but along the line something happened and we brought in Porter. We all believe that Porter wasn't the standard Chelsea should have gone in for, but we decided to go in for Porter, and it was a disaster. And after that, we thought there would be a substantive coach who would come in and restructure the whole thing, but we ended up hiring a coach who was just fired. So you ask yourself, are they having a stability in the squad? No. But next season, I guess we're going to have a very long off-season preparation. So the coach who will be coming in will be able to restructure everything because we have a lot of talent. You cannot tell me that the likes of Joao Felix.
We do have lots of talent. I think, yeah.
So when the new coach
go ahead. You were saying something.
Yeah, when the new coach comes in, he's going to have a plan for all the players. And maybe those who he doesn't want to work with might end up leaving the club. And let's not forget that we have loanees who are coming in. People are saying that, oh, Lukaku said bad thing about Chelsea. But I want to tell everybody, if Lukaku is coming back and he starts scoring goals in the offseason and we think that he's doing good, why would we allow him to go to a different club? He's still a Chelsea player. He says something. But at this moment, we don't have anybody up front. So if Lukaku should come back from off-season, from the league in Italy, and he's really doing good in the off-season, I guess he's going to be here. So we should be very careful what we say about people. People do make mistakes. But for now, if Lukaku should come back and he's really doing good, I guess the new coach should just add him to the squad. But as I was saying, there is no way next season will be that horrible because this season we know we've wasted it. There are so many things we've gone through, a lot of politics, transitions and everything. So we should just let it go. But the upcoming season, if things are beginning to unfold and we are not doing good, then I would say, yeah, Chelsea is in crisis. But for now, I still think we have a brighter future and the squad that we have will be able to do something. And come 2025, there will be a new groom Chelsea who can take everybody on, and we're going to have an excellent season subsequently.
I hope so. Some positive talk there from my brother Mark. I appreciate that, Mark. Big up, coach, and yeah, I don't mind if you call me Wally Waldo. Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Chimera says Chelsea is also looking to sign Mane from Bayern, who are willing to get him gone quickly after we clear out the deadwoods in the locker room. I think Mane will be a great addition. I think he did play under Pochettino at Southampton. Here's the thing. I read something. I actually did a YouTube short video on that particular news there. I think Mane's salary may well be an issue. But I don't know. All this again at the moment we're being linked with every player that's available, and yet the truth remains. Bayern would want to sell Mane if they get a chance. I think it hasn't really worked for him at Bayern. Plus, he's falling out with some players there, and specifically Sané. I'm not sure what happened there. I'm not going to go into details with that. We need 11 more likes to get it to 100 likes. People appreciate that. Just 11 more likes. Let's get it to 100 as soon as possible. The likes will go along with. Chelsea fans are funny. They wanted Rudiger out, saying he isn't good enough under Frank Lampard. Yep, and that was down to how Frank Lampard, you could say, treated him. And the truth remains, then he was in a very shaky form. Some people wanted him out. And then Thomas Tuchel came. Once Thomas Tuchel came to Chelsea, he became a world-class player, and that's why I like to give managers players chance. Once there's a change of manager, you're never going to know which player will start performing and what player will start underperforming. For instance, tell me if I'm lying. Kukurea actually Chelsea's they started life at Chelsea actually started well under. What's his name? Thomas Tuchel. Then things started. Things became a lot shaky on the ground. But till now, he hasn't performed consistently. So if that makes sense, so I agree with you. In the sense that players could play badly under one manager and then be world class under another manager. So yeah, a lot of players, Chelsea fans wanted Rudiger gone at that point, but. Thank goodness he stayed because he was pivotal to everything we achieved under Thomas Tuchel. This is Thomas Tuchel said it then that if Lukaku starts scoring, Chelsea fans will forget everything. He said, "I agree with the panelists." Yeah, that's the truth. Once he starts scoring, it changes everything. Here's the thing: Lukaku's biggest problem wasn't actually whether he was scoring goals or not. It was the interview.
Yep, the interview.
It was the interview that ruined everything. And once you have a fight, for instance, in real life, once you have a fight with a friend of yours or with your life partner, that's when you start saying, after all, you weren't good at this, you were bad at that, this was bad. But you were not seeing all those things when the going was good, if that makes sense. Yes, people keep dropping the likes on the stream. 11 more likes to get it to 100. Yes, people, please, let's get it to 100 as soon as possible. And if you haven't, please do subscribe to the channel. If you haven't, the likes do go a long way. And if you subscribe, fine. Let's see. Yep, I've read that one. This one here says, I haven't gotten the chance to tell you that what a legend you are for providing some membership mates. Yeah, Waldo is an absolute legend. I appreciate that. He gave away 10 memberships. Yeah, that's not it. They give the 10 members of the community with a membership. Yeah. Mane may go to Man City in a swap for Casado. Ooh, it sounds that sounds viable actually. That's something that is, yeah, it's more possible than him coming to Chelsea. They can afford his salary, and what's his name? Cancelo is on loan at Bayern, so that makes the whole thing easier. But let's see what happens. Let's say what else we have here. Walter says, I've got a feeling that Bayern will try swap Mane for Havertz. Okay, that's another one that makes sense too. What do you think? Tuchel likes him. And Bayern, they like German players a lot. But I want to get your thoughts. Mark, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's fair argument because if you look at Mane, ever since Thomas Tuchel took over, he hasn't been a starter. And I guess Thomas Tuchel trusts Kai Havertz and he know how to use him. So probably if it would be a swap, I would never be surprised because if you look at Mane, he's not the guy he used to be at Liverpool. I watched him recently and I feel like he's not happy in Bayern Munich because he hasn't got a 90 minutes mark on his credit, and that is rather unfortunate. So for him to come back to the EPL, I guess it will be possible for him to swap with Kai Havertz. And we know Chelsea fans are also not happy with Kai Havertz, so it will be a good deal for him to go to Bayern Munich and Mane will also come here. But honestly, I don't think I like that we'll be selling Kai Havertz because he's still young and we don't know what the new coach will be having for him. So we should just assess the situation and see what will happen in the upcoming days. But I think everything is possible right now.
All right. I think Kai stays too. I think he's a young player that they trust. I've got a feeling that the Bayern would try to swap Martinez for Havertz, Mane for Havertz. I think I've read that. Even at that, Mane's salary will still be an issue. Let's see what we have. Kukurea played bad, and it's sell him. Chilwell plays bad, and it's everyone else's fault. Shocking. Yeah, it's a Chelsea thing, and we're all entitled to our opinions. And the thing is, we're never all gonna agree. That's the truth.
Coachila, I have a question. Like they said by July 31st, we need to let about 15 players go. So is it possible we can still buy some players if we have to?
Yeah, we can still buy some players, but one thing people don't understand, the plus priority, I think, will be 50-50 buying 1-2 players and also balancing the books. I get it. We have some income will come in that will naturally help us balance the books. And also, if we get a new sponsor, that will go along with. But even at that, I don't think that will help us break even because we are. I think it was 200 and something million loss. Yeah, there are some. The COVID situation didn't help. The sanction didn't help either. So maybe that will help not get us into trouble because those factors, I think, the government the bodies the financial for lack of a better term, let's say FFP, for instance, they understand that did affect a lot of clubs globally. But I think we'll be all right. I still believe that because before they spent that much money, my argument of when they were spending the money, my argument at the point was that they are smart enough and rich enough to have experts behind the scenes crunching the numbers and telling them, please do not spend beyond this limit. But we have a problem now, given the fact that an FFP expert who did the calculation did say something to the effect of if we don't have European football the coming season, that we may borderline be in trouble again with FFP and all that. But we move on from that. Let's see what else we have in the chat. I want to look at it. Remember, Lukaku did the interview because he was consistently on the bench at that time, but that was after he came back from injury. But we're not sure, but whatever happened, he shouldn't have done that. Kai has already said no German player will say no to Bayern. Yeah, it's more like, I don't know, for lack of a better term, you could say it's a German traditional team, maybe one of the German traditional teams. That's not saying he's going to leave. I remember in recent, I think about a month or two ago, he said he's not considering leaving Chelsea at the point, but maybe right now he's doing so. I don't know. We need to stop hanging hats on Havertz. He's just an average player, not consistent enough for Chelsea. It's up to the club. Whatever they want to do with him. We're not going to get into the argument whether he's a good player or not. It's up to him. 10 more likes, people, to get it to 100. We should make that happen before the show ends. We have about 30 minutes before the show ends, and I'm not sure we're not going to get to that. Kai would be great for Bayern. He'd be elected, I am sure. Maybe. At least that's how you see it. That may well be the case. We don't know. Coach, you took the words out of my mouth. I was about to say we will have some issues with that. Definitely. It is really not that simple. Yeah, just 1 second. I had to cough that one. Imagine coaching this number of players must be a headache. Yeah, selection is a headache. But like I said before, you can those players that are surplus to requirement, you can send them to start. Just go train with the academy, and if you really need them, then pull them in. And most of them haven't played together for that long. Potter took on an impossible job, and Lampard fallen next. Well, there's some argument right there. Yes, people, if you're watching, if you haven't, please keep dropping the likes on the stream, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. 8 more likes to get it to 100. I believe we can, and I hope you believe we can too. Please, let's get it to 100 as soon as possible. Thank you so much for all your support. I'd like us to talk about this man here. I think we've already talked about him, that the club is looking to hire him to help clear the deck, to help the fire cell, the summer fire cell. What's his name again? How did I forget his name? Oh my goodness! I have the picture here. It just went blank. Let me see. Not this guy here. Let me find his name. The alien stock. Okay, yeah, Paul Michel. We're looking to hire him to help with the fire sale in the summer. I hope that happens. What do we have here? If it's going to make the process easier, that's the truth. Please stop judging players. It's a team sport, and our team performance have been affected by a lot of other factors rather than individual skills. You need to take a break, mate. Here's the thing: the way I've said it before is this: I don't think it makes sense to isolate any individual's performance because the team collectively have been underperforming. So yeah, Curtis, another delicious comment there from my friend M Bro JC. Always nice to see that. This year says buy one get one free. That's the sort of sale we will have in the summer. Yes, people, 8 more likes to get 8 more likes to get it to 100. We can do that, people. Let's make it happen. I think we'll be rounding off in a few minutes here. Let me see, because I know lots of us would like to go watch the Man City game. I think it's already started already. I don't know how many minutes into it, but I want us to talk about this man before we call it a day. Let's start with you, with Mark. Mark, what do you make of the rumors? Because I was thinking that Atletico Madrid would not be willing to let him continue staying at Chelsea on loan. I think I was thinking maybe they would rather sell him. And the truth remains there are no shortage of clubs that are looking to sign Joao Felix. To me, it's a signing, even though I like him, even though I know he will be good to have in the squad and probably will be good for us under another manager maybe. I think, and I think he doesn't look confident of late. It looks as if he's lost that confidence he showed when he first arrived at Chelsea. When he arrived at Chelsea, the first few games he was brilliant for us, but this time it looks like he's lost confidence. I'd say it's a signing that wouldn't make sense. Plus, Atletico Madrid, they're looking for something north of £90 million. Signing him would be just signing him for the sake of signing him. Except if what we're hearing is the truth, that he's going to stay for with us one more year on loan. Maybe that will help bring down the price. I don't know. But your thoughts? Would you want us to sign him?
Yeah, I think Felix is a very good player, and things are not going the way he planned. There are so many things going on in Chelsea right now, so we can never and ever judge him based on this season's performance, because even from Thiago Silva to the worst player in Chelsea, everybody is not doing good. So to me, if we are able to sign him, it will be a good thing, but we should try and get another year for maybe loaning, because if we get a loan deal for him, that will give us time for us to know whether he's a good player or not, because there is a new coach coming in. So if a new coach comes in and the performance is still the same, I guess we'll just come to conclusion that he's not really good for the Premiership. But I guess looking at Felix, he's a very wonderful player, and we should also not forget that there are so many responsibilities that falls on him because we don't have a number 9. let's say there is a number 9 who comes in and he's really doing things appropriately, I guess it will activate most of the players' performance. Because if you look at Chelsea this season, so many things are going on. Most of the players who were doing good, the likes of Mason Mount, even Gallagher when he was at Crystal Palace was fantastic. But for some reason, things are not going the way we are all expecting. So we should just keep our fingers crossed. And I guess Felix will be here next season. But as to whether we are going to buy him or it's going to be a loan deal, I cannot say. But I guess if he stays around, it will be a good thing. And we also know that ZH and Pulisic probably might not be here next season. So why do we have to get rid of Felix if we have the means to let him stay? So let's see what happens over the off season, and probably we can have more answers to the situation. But for me, if you say we should keep him, yeah, he's a good player and we should keep him.
Yep, I think we should. We should keep him, but not at all cost. I think it shouldn't be. I don't think it's a priority signing for us right now. I don't think anyone should single out a players for bad performances. Gallagher, Cheek, and Kukurea are exceptional. Oh, wow. I'm a bit was cloudy. It's time to go. What happened? Can you elaborate? Or is this a joke or are you serious? I'm not sure. I understand what that is for. Wally not gonna lie, I think Poch could make Felix into a great player just like he did with Son. I think he can, and I think he could get the best out of Gallagher too. Lots of our young players, he's good at doing that. We should not break the bank for Felix. If not, if no team wants him, then he should come cheap. I don't think there are lots of teams that want him, not just Chelsea. Man United want him. I think we've heard that Barcelona also they do want him. He should return back. Maybe if he wants to stay one more year with us on loan, that will help. I would take that, but I wouldn't want us to go to the extent of paying something north of 70 million to get his signature. Since I just see, I'm not judging any player. What I'm pointing out is keep some energy with every player. You cannot slander some players and give flimsy excuses for one. I'm not into slandering players, and I'm sure you know that. My bro, Chelsea all the way. Much love to you. Let's see. I understand you, Chelsea all the way. Okay, just have a conversation. I'm not going to be reading your conversations, please. Chelsea, Claudia was an Arsenal TV fan. That was known for his phrase, "It's time to go." Regarding Wenger. Oh, I remember when he passed away some years ago. Hence why I said, yeah, RIP to him. I think I know the guy. I remember even Chelsea content creators were sending condolence messages to all other to Arsenal content creators. So I remember him now. Rival or not, respect is due. Yep, that's the truth. Thank you so much. I'm going to come to you now. Your final thoughts on everything we've talked about, so we all can go watch the game. I think we were streaming for 3 hours. I like interacting with those in the chat. It makes me happy. I enjoy it so much. Always something to learn from you in the chat. Yeah, but unfortunately, today we have to end it early so that we all can go watch the game. The truth is, the numbers are going down because people are interested in watching the game, but because they want Man City to win. I know to win. I know Chelsea fans, we support Man City at this point. So you go ahead. Your thoughts on everything we've talked about today.
Yeah, I think we should all be hopeful for the incoming coach. So far, we don't know who is coming. We know Poch is in advanced talks with the owners. So we should hope that by the end of this day or maybe tomorrow, we should be hearing some good news. And I also like to urge all Chelsea fans to just stay calm because we have a lot of talented players who are going to be here for a very long time. And if a new coach comes in, these boys are going to make us proud. Although things are not going the way we are all expecting this season, we shouldn't lose hope, and we should be very circumspect with our talks and attacks on these boys because most of them normally listen to us. They read what we write about them. So if for some reason we tend to attack them it's not nice. Some of them have been receiving death threats and all those kind of things, which to me, it's not good. We have to be very careful the way we treat some of these boys because they are Chelsea and we are the fans. We need to support them when things are not going right. And I guess next season we should be expecting some good performances from these boys. They are here and I guess they can do something for us. And our game against Arsenal, I guess we are going to surprise everybody. If we are doing the right thing, we should go in with a very positive, approach. We should play, or the players should play for the badge. They need to make sure that they beat Arsenal. If we can win any game and we can beat Arsenal on Tuesday, I think it's a good thing. And I guess everybody will be happy with their performance. I would like to
if we beat them, we're the Premier League. If we beat Arsenal tomorrow, on Tuesday, we're the Premier League winners. Actually, that's how I see it. That's how important the game is to me. Let's see what else we have. So I will call it a day here. We have no more signings, just a DM and a striker. I think that's the most. That should be our priority signings. I end up criticizing other players to point out the hypocrisy of some Chelsea fans, pointing out the flimsy excuses they put forward to support certain players, but they are entitled to their opinions. That's how we roll. Much love to you. Remember, I love you. Again, I have to always present my counter argument if I don't agree with you. And that's how we roll here. I don't think Arsenal would loan out Martinez or Saka. City wouldn't do that to their players either. I don't think Atletico considers Felix as a top priority. That price needs to come down. It's as simple as that. Fulham lasted as long as the average. Stop. 3 minutes. Much love to everyone in the chat. I can now thank you guys enough. We need just 6 more likes to get it to 100 likes. Maybe as more people watch and drop a like on the stream, we'd get it to 100. So I want to say thank you so much to Bobby, who was on the panel today, and thank you to my bro Mark. This is your first time on the panel here. I cannot thank you enough. It's been an enjoyable discussion, a debate, if you want. City one up already. Yep, I've seen that. Haaland, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. And first half, empty glass of half full. You articulate your own positive arguments, mate, and leave the rest to that life. Much love to everyone in the chat. My brother Mark on the panel. JC, thank you so much for all the delicious comments. And Chelsea all the way, thank you for all the delicious comments from you. And Glenn, thank you for all the delicious comments from you too. Chimera, thank you so much for all your contributions. And Zalani, thank you so much. Who else was in the chat here? Wally Waldo, thank you so much once again, brother. I appreciate you so much. I cannot thank you enough for all the love you've shown to people in the channel and everyone else that was here. If I forget your name, apologies. I'm only human. One more person, Fred Duru. Chelsea can never beat Arsenal with Kepa as the keeper. Register my comment. Much love to you, Duru. I appreciate you joining. Lateness is greatness. Thank you, everyone. See you guys next time. God bless us all, and bye.
Okay.